Coached by Bill Curry, has won the toss. Michigan coached today by Gary Moeller, the assistant head coach under Bo Schembechler, who of course is watching at home in Ann Arbor after undergoing emergency heart bypass surgery a few weeks ago. I spoke with Bo. There is Moeller along the sideline. I spoke with Bo by phone last night. He says he's feeling fine. He does tire at times, but he watched all the bowl games yesterday. He's been out of the house a few times since the surgery, and he made one deal with the doctors. He wouldn't be here for this game, and he wouldn't leave campus to recruit during the month of January. He's talked with Moeller on the phone after every practice here this week, but he has not attended any of the practices before they came down south in preparation for this game. With Ray Perkins coming here to Tampa Bay to coach the Bucks, Curry over from Georgia Tech to become the new head man for the Crimson Tide. Played for Bobby Dodd at Georgia Tech, for Don Shula and Vince Lombardi in the pros with the Colts and the Packers. Some strong influences there. 7-4 in his first season. Kerry Good and Bobby Humphrey await the kick of Rick Sutkowitz, a senior from Troy, Michigan. Humphrey is number 26, Good number 35. Michigan's season ended with a loss to Ohio State. Alabama dropped their last two to Notre Dame and to Auburn, and with the Auburn loss, lost a chance to go to the Sugar Bowl. And the Hall of Fame Bowl is underway. It's Good at the 5. And smacked down at about the 24-yard line. Jeff Dunn is the quarterback. Humphrey is joined by Allen at a running back spot. Whitehurst, Battle, and Cross are the receivers. Cross, a better blocker than pass catcher. And there's the offensive line. Bill Condon, a remarkable player at right guard, coming off 2 serious knee surgeries. His coach, Bill Curry, says of all the players he's played with or coached, only Jerry Kramer, the legendary Packer offensive lineman, was any tougher than Condon. 2 wide receivers right as they line up in the eye. This is Pierre Good in motion. The handoff to his tailback, Bobby Humphrey, and Humphrey bangs ahead for about 5 yards. He's averaging 5.3 a carry this year. Mesner is probably the best of these defensive linemen for the Wolverines. They opened the year in a 3-4, but they had so many injuries to their linebackers that they're deeper in linemen now than they are in linebackers. Andre McIntyre, an all Big Ten linebacker, was among those injured. They lost 3 of their 4 best linebackers during the course of the year. Second down 5. Dunn will put it in the air with good protection to the sideline, a diving attempt, and the reception is made by Whitehurst. Clay Whitehurst, a senior from Nashville, with a fine catch for the Alabama first down.
Well, just take a look where Dunn puts this ball. Now, Arnold, number 15, is the corner. There's just no chance for him to make a play on the ball. And Whitehurst goes down, comes back to the ball. You see Arnold 15 there, just no play at all, Ahmad.
Excellent catch by Whitehurst. You see he does it all with his hands. That's the mark of a great receiver. The man can use his hands.
From just across the 37, Bo Wright joins Humphrey in the backfield. That's Wright in motion. The pitch is to Humphrey. And he's cut down shy of the 40-yard line by Bobby Abrams. Abrams, the junior linebacker from Detroit, coming off a strong 7-tackle game against Ohio State in the regular season finale.
Again, we talk about a team, Bob, that's going to have to throw the football to win this football game. I honestly believe that, and Dunn is off to a great start. When you complete your first one, it gives you all the confidence in the world.
Good and Whitehurst out to the right. Second and a long 8. They fake the pitch. Dunn rolling right away from the pressure. And he's got his man. It's juggled but caught by Howard Cross, the tight end, who is very nearly to midfield for another Crimson Tide first down.
This is just a sprint out here by the quarterback. And what happens here, watch this receiver as he comes down, Howard Cross comes down, he just finds a spot in the middle and sets down. Now he stops right here. Easy pat. Well, it wasn't so easy, but it was easy for him to get open on that one.
Well, what he did is waited for the linebacker, Cooper, to get out of the way, and once he did, he sat up.
A first down pass, and they swing it to Humphrey, who's their leading receiver. And he pays for it on a vicious collision, moving into Wolverine territory at about the 45-yard line.
I don't know who got the worst of that collision, Paul.
I think it was the defensive back. When the defensive back comes up and you meet Humphrey in full stride, and he's turning upfield, you're going to get a headache.
Now, this is what the guys told me yesterday, that Humphrey will shock you sometimes. They think he's a tricky runner, but right at the last minute, he'll stick his head down and try to run over the top of you.
That's Arnold, number 15, coming in. And look at Arnold. You have to readjust his helmet.
That's football there.
Arnold coming back off a hairline fracture of a leg sustained in early November. This is his first action since then. Second down 5. Alabama to the air again, and another completion. Both these clubs have about a 3-to-1 run-to-pass ratio during the season. But Dunn has come out throwing, and it's Whitehurst with another reception there.
Bobby, I told you at the beginning of the show that the team that can throw the ball and throw it more consistently than the other one will end up winning this football game. And everybody thought about, okay, we've got Humphrey, we've got Jamie Morris, we're going to come out and run the football down your throat. Not so.
Gain of 11, first down, just across the 35-yard line. They fake it to Kerry Good, and Dunn wants it all toward the goal line. Broken up in the end zone, intended for Pierre Good. Eric Campbell, number 5, and David Arnold, 15, were there on the coverage.
I was watching Pierre Good this week in practice, and I mean, this guy can fly. He just has not caught enough balls, but he knows how to run patterns. Watch him set up the cornerback, gets on his inside shoulder, and just turns on the speed. The ball's a little bit underthrown. You put that ball out in front of Pierre Good, we may have a touchdown.
I'm going to tell you, Campbell came in number 5 to block, to knock the ball away, but Arnold, 15, the cornerback was in perfect position to make the interception.
Humphrey not in the backfield at the moment. It's Wright and Kerry Good. And this is the pitch to Kerry Good. Back to the line of scrimmage, if that. Mesner was there on the stop. Ward Manuel was also there, number 79.
Doug Mallory was also there. That defense will swarm. You know, I'm a little surprised. We're not seeing. All right, here's Mesner here. You just see he takes on the offensive line right at the line of scrimmage, and all he has now is his eye on the running back, not looking at all at the man in front of him. Good play. Mallory, number 8, is there. We haven't seen Humphrey since that hit.
Third down 10. He's back in now. Done with lots of time. Incomplete, intended for Cross, the tight end. Abrams was in there to break it up from his linebacker spot.
Alabama can get themselves in a lot of trouble if they don't get positive yards on first down. Then they got to throw the ball all the time. It's something they don't do a lot, and they're not really comfortable with it. But this ball was a good try.
It was a good try. But then the other thing too, you've got a linebacker, Abrams, covering a tight end because they know that Cross does not have good hands.
Now they'll attempt a nearly 52-yard field goal. Philip Doyle was 1 of 5 in his freshman season from beyond 50 yards. Yes! They held the ball for 6 minutes and 17 seconds. And Curry gets the jump on Moeller. A 52-yarder off Doyle's foot. The 1988 Hall of Fame Bowl is brought to you by Bud Light, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. Everything else is just a light. By the heartbeat of America, today's Chevy truck. And by Shearson Lehman Brothers and E.F. Hutton joining together to serve the serious investor. The 52-yarder by Philip Doyle, a parade All-American a year ago as a high schooler, is an Alabama school record.
It was a great drive by Alabama. Jeff Dunn came out and shocked everybody with those short-range passes, getting his confidence going. And what they did that was so important, they got points out of that drive.
They're going to like that drive, and I think they may throw more, but you got to get Bobby Humphrey into this game in order to win the football game. I know you have to pass the ball a lot, but Humphrey is the key. If you can get him a few good plays, that's going to bring that secondary up. Now you can play run.
9 plays on the drive, 6 passes, 3 runs.
I think what they're doing is maybe loosening Michigan up a little bit, Paul, and then come back with Humphrey just so he could run off tackle a little bit more.
It's going to take the fourth quarter to loosen Michigan up out of that defense.
Doyle is not the kickoff man. Alan Ward, a freshman from Pensacola, Florida, will boot. The deep men are Jamie Morris and John Colasar. It's a short kick taken by one of the up men at the 20-yard line, but covered well just across the 25.
That was Webb, a defensive back, or an offensive back, excuse me.
Phil Webb, number 46, on the return. And let's check the lineup. Demetrius Brown has done most of their quarterbacking of late, but it's Michael Taylor, a better option back, and they're going to open in a wishbone with Morris joined by Webb and Bunch in the backfield, Colasar, the one wide receiver at the flanker spot, and Brown, the tight end. A huge offensive line, not a one of them under 265. Elliott is the best, All-American material. Taylor swings it out to Morris. Squirts out to about the 27-yard line, pickup of 2.
You know, Bobby, Demetrius Brown, they're using starting quarterback, has a broken thumb and a sprained thumb, and they say it doesn't bother him passing the ball, but when it does bother him, is pitching the ball. When you have to pitch the ball comes right off the thumb.
Give him a gain of only a yard, call it second down 9. And Morris will carry, slips one tackle and bangs ahead to the 30-yard line. Third down 6 coming up as we check the Crimson Tide defense. Willie Wyatt is a future star at the nose guard spot. Derek Thomas is the man to watch at that outside linebacker spot, taking over from Cornelius Bennett as their defensive star. Taylor rolling away from trouble, under pressure, he throws downfield, incomplete. Tommy Cole led the charge. Number 51, the junior from Jasper, Alabama. There he is.
You know what happened in this situation? You got Taylor scrambling. First of all, they had a full-scale blitz on. You're going to see everybody coming. All right, now when he starts scrambling around, you got 2 receivers, Ahmad, to the outside that are not coming back to him. He has no one to throw the ball to.
Monty Robbins, who averaged 43.6, kicks to Gene Jelks, who returned one for a touchdown against Tennessee this year. Jelks takes it on the run at the 40 and is walloped down at the 46-yard line. Just a 30-yard punt with a 6-yard return. Good field position for Alabama, and they already lead it 3-zip.
All the excitement and raw enthusiasm of college basketball is back on NBC. Coming up next, Dean Smith leads the Tar Heels of North Carolina to battle Walt Hazzard and the Bruins of UCLA. College basketball, it's the stuff weekends are made of on NBC.
Bobby Humphrey, I'm from Alabama, and I'd like to wish you all a Happy New Year.
First game of what could turn out to be a very good year indeed for Bobby Humphrey. He'll be listed among the preseason candidates for the Heisman. Interestingly, in the long, glorious history of Alabama football, they have never had a Heisman Trophy winner. From the 46, Doug Allen carried, a kid who might be preoccupied. His wife, Sheila, is expecting a baby, and this is the due date. Child expected on January 2nd.
We have a 10-minute ticker on that?
That'll be the next Mike Weissman innovation. 6:55 to play first quarter. Pierre Good in motion. And they give it to him on the reverse. Couple of blockers ahead of him. Into Wolverine territory. Dances past a tackler. First down, Alabama.
Pierre Good is so dangerous. He came to Alabama as a running back, and they say he's their best blocker as a wide receiver. But you see, they like to get him the ball wide because if he can break a tackle, he can take this baby coast to coast.
I'm sorry, Bobby, but take a look at what happens here. Look at where Humphrey goes. When Humphrey goes to that side, look at the Michigan defense. They all follow Humphrey. When they go back to this side, there's really no one there to pick up the play.
That's fine running right there. as he redirects his route.
Cut him a new route.
That's right.
Jeff Bentley made the key block for him. Now they pitch it to Humphrey. Gets up ahead of steam, and he's upended at the 35-yard line. He got 8. Eric Campbell stopped him from his safety spot.
Fine tackle by Eric Soup Campbell, as they call him at Michigan. One-on-one. You never want to get one-on-one with an All-American running back like that. I mean, that can be embarrassing.
You got to put your helmet in his face.
Talking about the fact that Alabama's never had a Heisman winner, the closest any Crimson Tide player has ever come is 4th. Leroy Jordan in 1962, Johnny Musso in 1971. Second down 2. Allen in motion. They'll throw it again. If Dunn can get it off. Incomplete. Whitehurst intended receiver, Bishop on the coverage. A senior out of Miami, and is the state of Florida ever jumping? Florida State with the big Fiesta Bowl win, an exciting game. Miami with the national championship. I doubt that Jimmy Johnson has awakened yet to join us for this one, maybe by the second half. Even if he's technically walking around, I don't think he's truly conscious.
I don't think he's
what
gone
the Hurricanes did last night.
I don't think he's gone to sleep yet, Bob.
That's Good in motion into the slot on the left side. Bo Wright in the backfield with Humphrey. They pitch it to him. They fake the reverse, and Humphrey gets the first down. Very close, but I believe he's got it as he faked the reverse to Good. Close enough to measure.
You know, Bobby, Humphrey likens himself to Marcus Allen. And as I watch him, he reminds me of Marcus Allen because he can do everything. He's a fine blocker, he's a good receiver, and a great runner.
You're going to be a little short here.
I think you're right, Paul.
That's what they keep saying about Jamie Morse.
He even said that.
Same height as his brother Joe, each at 5'7".
And he's too short.
And that's too short by about a foot. They're going to go for it.
Well, yeah, they are. The way that man kicked the field goal the last time, I might even think about that. But they've got Michigan on the run.
2 tight ends, Howard Cross and Craig Epstein. Humphrey, Allen, and Wright in the backfield. Humphrey the tailback, of course. They need a foot on 4th down. Humphrey, first down Alabama. The initial surge gets it.
You see Humphrey going up in the air. What you look at is Mallory, number 8, trying to meet him at the point of attack on the top, but you're just a little bit too late. Here Mallory comes in now, but he's way too late on the play.
Alabama kept the ball for over 6 minutes before Doyle hit the school record 52-yard field goal. Michigan had it for 3 downs and then a punt. And here's Alabama on the move again with 4:51 to play in the first quarter. Allen in motion. Fake pitch. Pressure from the side, but they get it out to Good. And they're able to hem him in before he got any running room. Down at the 29-yard line. This is one of the fastest players in the history of Alabama. A high school record holder in the 110 high hurdles.
I asked him how fast he ran the 40, and he said, well, somewhere between 4 flat and 4.2.
I can't drive that fast.
That's what I told him.
Boy, are you fellows easily amused. Hail, fellows, well met. Second down,
Fresh air, James, your mind.
Which in your case doesn't take much. On what could have been a broken play, Dunn salvages something. Maybe a 3-yard gain. That'll bring up 3rd and 4.
Bob, when you look at passes and guys getting open, the best pass defense in the world, and I think everyone should know that, and they do know that, is the pass rush. And the thing is to get that defensive line off the line and into Dunn's face. They've done a pretty good job in this series of downs.
Humphrey out, Wright and Good in. Very Good, that is, in the backfield. Pierre Good in motion. Dunn steps away from the rush, but then is brought down. T.J. Osmond A sophomore from North Hills, Pennsylvania, gets the sack.
Bobby, this is what I'm talking about now. Mesner, number 60, is the guy that forces it right away. He forces Dunn to commit himself. When he does that, Osmond's going to come in and make the play. Look at Mesner. He just runs right by the tackle, gets in Dunn's face. Here comes Osmond. He makes the tackle. That's super defense.
Dunn shaken up on the play.
I think Mesmer's a little bit quicker than Bill Condon expected, because he just couldn't get out and make the block.
They didn't even get a piece of him.
The guys tell me that Dunn.
That's David Smith, who would be the quarterback if Dunn can't make it. Field goal attempt coming. We'll be back. And always nice to see Gumby working on his tan. A review for those of you who were out of the country yesterday. Florida State. Long drive for the winning score to beat Nebraska in the Fiesta. The Rose goes to Michigan State as the Big Ten finally breaks through. 51-yard attempt by Doyle. Hit a 52-yarder earlier. Doesn't meet this one quite as well, and it's off to the left, no good. So Michigan weathers the storm that time with 2:55 to play in the first quarter. Another timeout, 3-0 Bama.
David, be careful of that hurt.
Clemson put it to Penn State yesterday. Texas A&M over Notre Dame. The Irish, the common opponent for these two clubs. They beat Michigan early and Alabama late, both easily. And then on to the big one last night. Miami over Oklahoma for the national championship 20-14, while Auburn and Syracuse were smooching their sisters. Taylor played one series, and Demetrius Brown is in at quarterback now. He threw a school record 16 interceptions this year. Turnovers plagued the Wolverines all season. He'll go to the air. Over the middle for a completion on first down.
I think his thumb's fine.
A gain of 8 on the pass to the tight end, Jeff Brown.
This is called threading the needle and putting the ball right on the money. He watches drop here, spots the receiver right over the middle, just sets down right in there. Nice pass, nice catch, first down.
And guess who got a great block in that backfield for the quarterback? Jamie Morris on Derek Thomas.
Second down.
Short of the first down as Bunch was bunched up. Hit by Greg Gilbert from his inside linebacker spot. Gilbert is a very underrated player, according to the Alabama people. Wears number 56. You know, they had Cornelius Bennett. And now Derek Thomas. And Thomas this year recorded 18 sacks, which is 3 more than Bennett had in his entire career with the Crimson Tide. In the shuffle, a guy like Gilbert can be overlooked.
Yeah, Maude, how about that other guy, Rockwell?
He's not a bad player. Not a bad player himself.
Yeah. They need about a yard on third down. They haven't had a first down yet in this quarter. Jamie Morris doesn't have it. And the man you mentioned, Rockwell, was among those there.
Rockwell comes right down the line of scrimmage and makes the play, number 57. Now, take a look at it. They try to go to Elliott's side. They can't do anything. And you see number 57 cutting Jamie Morris up before he even gets to the line of scrimmage.
How well they're able to move the ball behind Elliott is one of the game's keys. 6'7", 306. Senior All-American.
Even with all that size and strength, Bobby, it's still tough to block those quick guys.
Robbins had a relatively weak kick his last time. Jelks waiting back around the 10-yard line.
That one's not weak, pal.
Fakes the fair catch, but a Michigan bounce. And they're going to down the ball inside the 5, close to the 1-yard line. Alan Bishop is the guy who got down there and downed it to pin Alabama back at the 1-yard line. A 56-yard punt. 41 seconds remaining first quarter. The ball is spotted at the 2. Check the time of possession with 41 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
I don't know about you, Paul. That time of possession means absolutely nothing to me. The
less.
score is only 3-0.
That's right. It's what you do with that time.
That's right.
But Alabama has been able to move the ball, and Michigan doesn't have a first down. Humphrey not in this closing moment of the first quarter. They give the ball to Wright, the first man through. And he's cut down almost immediately. T.J. Osmond was there. So was Dave Folksberg.
Strange as it may seem, great running backs like this field position, because if you have speed and a lot of confidence in your speed, you're thinking about ripping one off for 98 yards.
Or the quarterback running a little play action deal and throwing a bomb to a guy like Goo, who's out here all by himself.
Guess on the other side, quarterbacks hate this position.
3 seconds in the quarter. They just beat the gun. Pitch it back to Good, who climbs over people to just shy of the 5. And the first 15 minutes are history. The Crimson Tide will face 3rd and 7 from their 5-yard line when we come back. Ah, yes, the Metropolitan Life blimp with Captain Mike Fitzpatrick from Newport, Rhode Island in command. Dirigible overhead, a couple of incorrigibles here in the booth with me, McGuire and Rashad.
What do you mean overhead? As high as we are from this press box, I could have swore that thing just went by in front of us.
This is definite nosebleed territory. If they sold tickets in this booth, they'd be about $1.98. All right, Alabama needs 7 from just shy of the 5 on 3rd down. Done with the play fake. Lots of time. And the first down as he hits the tight end cross in between 2 defenders. Big play.
Jeff Dunn is sharp. I mean, that ball's right on the money. He's showing a lot of poise for a quarterback that's not one that throws all the time.
Well, just take a look across him. He just drifts right into the center of the field. Nobody there. Grant, J.T. Grant, the linebacker, can't get there, and it looked like they're just waiting on him to catch the ball.
The trick is to have patience to stop.
They got 12 on the play. A year ago, Ray Perkins was so discouraged by Cross's bad hands, he kept threatening to move him to an offensive tackle spot. Here's Dunn in trouble, busted play, and a loss of 2.
Bobby, the reason Dunn's in trouble is because Messner just takes the lineman and pushes him all the way back into Dunn. Dunn was going to fake and then go down the line with an option, and he gets knocked off. Watch the job that Messner does here. Here comes Messner across the line of scrimmage. Now watch where he is. He takes Rose all the way back to the quarterback, knocks him off stride. Nothing that Dunn can do now but run with the ball.
Can't run that option with Messner getting that penetration.
2nd and a long 11. Pierre Good on the left side. Throw it to Humphrey, who makes a nice backpedaling catch.
J.J. Grant should have had Dunn. He hesitated just a second instead of continuing on. J.J. Grant, number 95. Watch what he does. He'll hesitate right there, waiting for the pass. If it had kept going, he'd had it. And then Humphrey, well, you know, you made one of those catches, didn't you? I
did make one of those, but Marcus Allen makes a lot of them. And like I said, he reminds me of Marcus Allen. Great play by a great player.
They got 6, 3rd down 5. And Dunn wants a timeout. Dunn asking for time. This is a mixed crew of officials. Some are collegiate independent officials, others from the Mid-America Conference. 13:15 to play in the first half.
I don't think the 25-second clock is working.
He was pointing in that direction. And there is no timeout charge to Alabama. To this point, Bobby Humphrey has carried 5 times for 17 yards. He has 2 receptions for 11 yards. The fake. Dunn scrambles away. Dunn for the first down, Alabama. Eric Campbell stopped him, but too late.
Jeff Dunn has a tremendous attitude, like a linebacker, some of the players tell me, and he's sort of a McMahon type. Here he's an excellent runner, finds a place to run, gets up in the middle, and gets the first down. It's a great quarterback making things happen.
I don't know if that was a design play or not.
I don't think it was designed.
We've got a Michigan man down it.
While they work on him, we'll break away. 12:39 to play in the half. 3-0 Alabama. The 1988 Hall of Fame Bowl is brought to you by the Sunkist family of products, where you can be sure of the highest quality every time. You have our word on it. By Honda, who invites you to experience the CRX SI at your local Honda dealer. And by Northwest Airlines. Look to Northwest Airlines for more of the world, from more of the U.S. The injured player from Michigan was Ward Manuel. He left under his own power. And he's replaced for the moment by Brent White, number 88. From the 28-yard line, first down, Alabama. Humphrey carries. A gain of about 5. Alan Bishop on the tackle, lots of help.
I think one of the reasons you see Humphrey and Good trading off so much is that when Humphrey's in the game, he's not a decoy. He's either catching the ball or running the ball, so they want to keep him fresh by spelling him with Kerry Good.
Last year, Alabama played in the Sun Bowl to conclude their season. Humphrey rushed for 159 yards and 3 touchdowns. Here he is, trying to turn the corner, and does, for an apparent Alabama first down. In that 28-6 win over Washington in last year's Sun Bowl, Humphrey scored on runs of 64 and 3 yards, also caught an 18-yard touchdown pass. Michigan, of course, played in the Rose Bowl last year, lost to Arizona State 22-15.
You know, when I watched that last play, I watched the tight end Epps. And when you pitch to Humphrey, Ahmad, the tight end really doesn't have to make a solid block. All he has to do is screen the defensive man so he can get to the outside. Once he gets to the outside, you've got 6 yards, not points.
Sometimes 6 in Humphrey's case, points.
First down from the 39. Whistles and a flag.
Alabama moving at the line. Now they say, you know, then the tight end moved. The tight end moved. And you say, well, the tight end, he can move, but once he gets set in a 3-point stance, he cannot get up and move forward.
I read his lips. He said, illegal procedure, Alabama.
And Cross said, on me.
Which pushes them back to the 34. First and 15. First flag thrown today. Humphrey, big hole. Bursts out right side, breaks the tackle, and then is tripped up along the sideline. Gain of 16. And an Alabama first down.
If Alan Bishop, number 10, doesn't pick his head up, Bobby Humphrey is gone, because Alan Bishop was on the ground. The hole was there. Take a look to the left of the screen. The hole is they just jam everything to the inside. And watch what happens at the end of this play. You're going to see Alan Bishop on the ground, get back up, and catch him with his head.
They give it to Humphrey again. Dragged down along the far sideline by Bishop and J.J. Grant.
Humphrey's got such great acceleration. Once he gets up in the hole, he runs by people as if they're standing still. And like all great runners, oh, you see they're giving him a break now 3 times in a row. Kerry Good, they don't lose much with Kerry Good. He's a pretty good back.
He got 6 on that one. Alabama moving again. And Dunn firing long into the end zone, almost. Whitehurst the target.
One thing you never do when running a fly pattern is never give up on the quarterback. Just about the 10-yard line, Whitehurst started to slow down. He started to slow down and look back for the ball. You got to keep running. Right here, you see him slowing down, looking back. Keep going forward. He keeps going forward. It's a touchdown. That's one rule that a receiver's got to know. When you run a deep route, keep on going. Don't give up on your quarterback.
Bishop, the defensive back, did the same thing. He turned and stopped, slowing, looking back at the quarterback.
3rd and 4. Dunn straight back, and with time, and Cross couldn't hold it.
What was that you said about offensive tackle, Bob?
Except it was Kerry Gould. So we blamed the wrong man. Or perhaps not. It was Cross. So that's the last time I cover up for the cameraman. When that stuff happens in the studio, I just blame you.
That's right.
Alabama gives it up on the punt. Colasar makes the fair catch. And Michigan takes over at the 16 with 10:37 to sit. Bob Costas, Ahmad Rashad, Paul McGuire back. The Hall of Fame Bowl in Tampa. They played it in Birmingham for several years. They took a year off. Came here last year for the first time. Boston College beat Georgia. So this is the second Hall of Fame Bowl in this stadium.
Now, probably keep it here. Look at the weather. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Place seats about 74,000. Not quite full, but a crowd of certainly better than 60 here.
My only complaint, they need to move this press booth down so I can see who's playing.
Well, we know for sure that's Jamie Morris on the first down carry. 8, maybe 9 yards for him. Lee Osmond makes the tackle for Alabama.
You folks out there have gotten to see quite a bit of Bobby Humphrey. If Michigan can hold the ball, you're going to see another great running back in Jamie Morris.
Michigan, not to be real critical. Now, what do you think of their play calling the first couple series of downs?
And Ahmad falls silent. Here's Brown on 2nd and 2. Pumping long, trying to catch him off guard, but he overthrows the diving Colasar.
Colasar got behind Magnum.
Well, Alabama plays, they're 85% man-to-man.
Get Brown back there, but when you start feeling that heat, and there is enough heat in that backfield, and that's Wyatt that's in his face. Look at Colasar. He has Magnum beat right here. The ball's just about a yard. Would you say a yard?
It might as well have been 20 yards.
Now Brown goes out, and Taylor comes in. 3rd down 2. Taylor on the option, turns it back in and gets the first down.
He runs it. He runs this option perfectly. Now, as we were talking about Dunn not being able to get down the line, watch the right side of Michigan's line. They keep those guys right on the line of scrimmage so the quarterback can come right down the line and then make a cut back wherever he needs to. Fine run by Taylor.
And the problem that time, the linemen were on the line of scrimmage, but Chilks, number 22, was so concerned about Jamie Morris that he overran the play.
Taylor looking to throw it. And a little flip to Morris, who's smacked down at the 29-yard line.
Paul, I think you get a look there of Alabama's team speed. All these guys can fly, and they really go to the ball.
They also had a problem because Rockwell ran into his own man. He was blocked. He had a definite shot at the quarterback, Taylor, and he gets knocked off by his own man. Oh, new quarterback again.
They face 2nd and 14. Brown comes back in. Taylor out as they continue to alternate the quarterbacks. They give it to Morris. Morris turns it up, breaks a tackle. Jamie Morris is into Alabama territory. It's only their 2nd first down, and the Wolverines are moving for the first time today.
What a great play, Ahmad. And who's our number 74? The offensive tackle gets a tremendous block on the outside. Look to the left of your screen. At number 74, who's our? Here he comes out. Look at the block right there on Rockwell, and it's open.
Watch that move by Jeremy Morris, though, in the secondary. He always makes the right cut. He sets the guy up and cuts right back, gets an extra 10 yards.
29-yard pickup. 10 to play in the half. 3-0 Bama. They run him again. He gained 1,469 yards this year, which flat tied Rob Lytle's single-season school record set in 1976.
Jamie Morris is just, there's Thomas coming down, but look, and he gets caved right back to the inside. That's Walker, the tight end, that takes the linebacker to the inside, the kick out block by the tackle, and again, the great moves of Jamie Morris.
Second down 5 from the 38. And in some big trouble, Brown is dragged down for a loss. Rory Turner got in there first, perhaps the most quotable player on the Alabama team. A few years ago, when he had a good game against Brent Fullwood of Auburn, he declared afterward for the press gathered around his locker, "I waxed that dude." Oh, a devotee of Madame Tussaud. 3rd and 15 now.
Michigan just not used to seeing this much team quickness.
The fake to Morris, and the long throw down the left sideline off the fingertips of McMurtry. Greg McMurtry, a baseball player out of Brockton, Massachusetts. He was the Red Sox #1 choice as an outfielder in 1986. He played center field for the Michigan baseball team and hit .299 this year.
In that case, he should have caught this ball. I didn't know he was a center fielder.
Hey, Willie Mays would have caught it.
Let me tell you something. That ball was put right into his hands. Gene Jelks had super coverage, but the ball was there.
So now Jelks drops back to the 10-yard line. Robbins will punt. His last one was good for 56, and they downed it at the 2. They don't get a favorable bounce this time, and they slap it down around the 18-yard line. So Michigan got into Bama territory, but couldn't score. It's still 3-zip. Bo Schembechler has missed another bowl. He had a heart attack on New Year's Eve prior to the 1970 Rose Bowl, and Jim Young, then his defensive coordinator, later went on to coach at Purdue and at Army, coached against USC. This touchdown pass from Jimmy Jones to Bob Chandler turned out to be the game winner for the Trojans. They won it 10-3 in Bo Schembechler's absence. That after his first season as the Wolverines head coach. And now Gary Moeller coaching this one with Bo watching at home from Ann Arbor. Moeller has been with Schembechler both at Miami of Ohio and at Michigan for many, many years. Left briefly in the late 70s to take over as the head coach at Illinois. Was unsuccessful there and then returned. Kerry Good carries. Got about 3 on the first down play. Moeller is an Ohio State grad. Let the Michigan folks forgive him that. He was a captain for Woody Hayes in the early 60s. The Ohio State teams he played on went 3-0 head-to-head against Michigan. Dunn looked for somebody, couldn't find him, and made what he could out of it before Billy Harris stopped him.
Well, Bobby, he went for some kind of play fake, and he's patting Allen on the head because Allen went in motion, and he was supposed to be staying in the backfield. That's got to be it. I've never played quarterback. You ever play? It's a sick feeling. You turn around, you hand the fake to somebody, and he's not there.
It was a play fake, all right. They faked everybody out on his own team.
They need a little more than 5 on this one. Dunn tossed the football up, and Michigan has it.
Mesner nailed it. Here's Mesner. Take a look at Mesner now. He goes all the way out around, and then when he sees Dunn, he just throws off the block, and watch the shot he gives right here. His helmet hits the ball. Like he almost broke his leg.
In came John Herman for the fumble recovery. After the hit by Mesner, Dunn coughs it up. And then in comes J.J. Grant, not John Herman. J.J. Grant, a junior out of Liverpool, New York, who somehow escaped from Dick McPherson and the Syracuse Orange and wound up at Michigan. Grant, from his linebacker spot, makes the fumble recovery.
You would say that, wouldn't you, a Syracuse alumnus? He could have went to Oregon.
Turnovers have plagued the Wolverines all season long. But in this case, they're the beneficiary of the Alabama fumble. Brown rather than Taylor at quarterback. As they look to get on the board, they give it to Morris. Morris breaks through. Goodbye. Touchdown, Wolverines.
Bob, and another great block by Hoosier number 74. He just comes down the line. Everybody else has to block well, but the key block at the point of the hole. And when Jamie Morris saw that, he got to the secondary on your own.
And anytime you can get him on his own, just get him out there where he can run man-to-man on those people, and he just makes them all look silly out there.
Mike Gilletta at 33 of 34 extra point tries. Out of Monty Robbins' hold, it's 7-3 Michigan. Take another look at the blocking on this play as Morris scores from 25 yards.
Watch 74 Hoosier coming down the line of scrimmage. Watch this block. Right there is the hole.
And now watch Morris make the cuts. Here he comes back inside, never crosses the tackler's face, runs through these two guys, shows the quickness into the end zone.
What is it you said about time of possession, Ahmad? Alabama has dominated, but now Michigan leads. Later in today's game, we'll select the outstanding player from each team, and Budweiser will donate a total of $2,000 to the school's general scholarship funds in honor of those players. Gumby continues to socialize with the members of the Alabama band. Pokey nowhere in sight, however.
Gumby is everywhere. Remember he made an appearance on our show. Was that last year? NFL 87, 86? Don't you remember Gumby? You brought him. Don't you remember?
5:21 to play in the half. They've both played well, but Morris with the edge after the 25-yard touchdown. The Wolverines were -6 for the season on the giveaway takeaway table. That's not the kind of ratio you expect from a good team. In comparison, Alabama was +15. But in this case, Michigan recovered the fumble and immediately cashed in on the enemy mistake.
You hit it right on the head, Bob, when you said they've been plagued all year with turnovers, but in this game, that's not the case. They're forcing turnovers so far.
And the thing about it is, when you take a look at a turnover, Bobby, you look at what happened after the turnover. You can have a lot of turnovers and nothing happens and you stop the people. But when you turn over and start giving points up, then you got a problem.
Sutkowitz will kick it off. Trying to keep it away from the deep men Humphrey and Good. It's taken at the 25-yard line, and they cover it well. A return of only 3.
Someone should suggest that Sutkowitz put a shoe on. That wasn't a very good kick without a shoe.
You know, when you look at it, though, Bobby hit it right on the head. You don't want to get the ball to Humphrey or to Good, and what he's doing is just putting the ball up in the air and trying to, all right, you're going to give up 5 or 10 yards, but you're also not going to give up the 80-yard run. Kick it to some old defensive back. And that's Davis who returned the ball.
Freshman John Davis out of Dallas. Apparent injury to his right ankle. And we'll have a report on him as soon as we can. Humphrey and Doug Allen are the running backs behind Jeff Dunn with 5:18 to play in the half.
I'm a little surprised. Alabama took the first kick off and started throwing the ball, and they stopped doing that. They were moving it very well throwing. Go back to it.
They give it to Humphrey. Straight ahead, bouncing off people. Got 8 yards on first down.
when you give it to the deep eye back, it's just important that these linemen get on somebody. If they want to go right, just stay on them. If you stay on your blocks, it gives a great runner a chance to get up in there and make something happen.
Well, they had Condon number 77 on Herman, and Condon was holding him. Herman couldn't get his arms out to tackle Humphrey.
Here's Humphrey, and cut down at the 44-yard line of Michigan by Eric Campbell. And had he not, Humphrey was history.
He got some great blocks. Look at Bo Wright, number 40, coming out. Cross gets an excellent block, number 85, but Bo just knocks him on your back. When you get knocked on your back, you can't do anything. That was Bishop he hit down.
20-yard gain is going to be nullified. They'll bring it back on a penalty.
I guarantee if Bishop doesn't want him to run that play again.
That was a great block by Bo Wright.
That was the old knock you off your feet block.
Larry Glass is the referee, whose mic works.
Holding on the offense, second down.
He's got to learn how to turn it on.
I caught the guy holding a play later.
You got to tell that guy down there, Bobby, there's an on switch and an off switch.
I guarantee you there's some competition here between Humphrey and Morris. I mean, when he sees Morris break for a run, he wants to come out there and do something also.
So a 30-yard swing instead of a gain of 20. Penalty sets him back 10. To the air on second down. Open is Whitehurst. Couldn't hold it.
That was a perfect pattern, Ahmad. Whitehurst went right in the zone. Right down the line. No one stayed with him.
Drop passes are not only that, they just demoralize your team. You've got to make these plays. This is a nice pattern. He gets right in between the zones, settles down, the ball's close.
Thrown too low.
Close.
The book on Dunn is that he throws the ball too hard and he lacks touch on his passes. He was a defensive back until his senior year in high school. The fake to Humphrey, and the pass is deflected and broken up. Intended for Angelo Stafford. And Grant, who made the fumble recovery earlier, breaks this play up now.
Grant is a linebacker. Watch the depth that Grant gets. He's got his eyes on the quarterback. He sees the tight end goes across. I don't have him anymore. Now watch quarterback. Here comes the ball. Get the tape off your hands. You might be able to catch it.
No, he plays linebacker.
Get the tape off your hands, and you might be able to catch it.
Chris Moore averaged 40.5 with a long kick of 55 for the season. Some pretty good pressure on him. Colasar fields it back near the 20. And can't get away.
They had the rush on Bob, and Colasar's down there all by himself.
It's like Canadian football. You're on your own, babe.
Under pressure, he gets away a 54-yard kick. Michigan, wasting no time, lines up quickly. They give it to Morris on first down, and he picks up 5 yards. So he's got 75 for the game thus far.
Paul, you know, he does such an excellent job of following his blockers. Watch him here pick a hole. He picks a hole, never makes a wrong, back to the right side. I mean, he really makes all the right decisions as a running back.
Dame's got a pretty good block, number 76.
Jared Bunch in the backfield now. This is Bunch. Turned it into a gain of a yard, maybe 2. Willie Wyatt really whacked him, but Bunch stayed on his feet, at least initially.
It's hard to follow blocking when there is none.
Well, I'll tell you, Willie Wyatt that time, just as soon as Bunch got the ball, I congratulate him for holding on to it. One of migraine headaches.
Alabama playing in their 40th bowl game. That's an NCAA record. When Texas beat Pitt the other night in the Blue Bonnet Bowl, that was their 33rd bowl appearance. The Longhorns are second on the list. 19th bowl appearance for Michigan. Brown's pass, nearly intercepted, but instead taken by Callaway. And Callaway is to around the 44-yard line for a first down, a gain of 14. Lee Osmond finally gets credit for the tackle.
Bethune, the linebacker, tries to intercept the ball. If you can't knock it down, you've got to go to the player. Watch what happens here on the left of your screen. Going for the interception, Bethune, it's not there. Now you've got a lot of problems, and that's Callaway just picking up the first down.
Nice little move in there to get about 6-7 extra yards at the end of that play.
2:45 to play until halftime. Michigan leads at 7-3 on the Jamie Morris touchdown run. Philip Doyle had given Alabama a 3-0 lead early with a 52-yard field goal. This is Morris.
He's got such quick feet. Such quick feet. I think he's a better all-around back than his brother Joe.
Whoa.
He catches the ball.
Whoa.
He catches the ball so much better coming out of the backfield. He really can go left and right. Joe Morris is more of a straight-ahead runner. This kid here can regroup and run it from side to side also.
He's not as fast as Joe, but few backs are. But Jamie Morris admits there are times when he'll be caught from behind.
Watch the footwork here. He gets caught up in here. He gets by one tackler right there and still gets positive yards. He's always got good body lean going forward.
That's 2nd and 7, not 2nd and 3 from the 47. Brown has lots of time. He hurls one deep, and he's got his man, but he overthrows it. McMurtry was open on that one.
McMurtry, Ahmad, I sat here watching him. He did the same thing Jokes was covering that Whitehorse did before. He stopped, but that ball was thrown out of bounds. Whether, he could have been able to get to it or not, I don't know. But he did another thing. He just stopped. And you're on that fly pattern like you're talking about, you've got to go.
That's right. Young receivers don't know that. Once you get out front, you just got to turn it on, and it's up to the quarterback to get you the ball.
Gary Moeller was on that 1961 Ohio State team that declined an invitation to the Rose Bowl because the powers that be said, wait a minute, it conflicts with final exams.
Didn't ask the players. That's a problem.
That's what Moeller said. They didn't give me a vote. Here goes Morris again. Jamie Morris. They tripped him up. He loses his footing and is down at the 23-yard line.
Mangum was the guy that, Bobby, if he doesn't grab his foot, it's all over.
As it is, he's over 100 yards as he picks up 31.
Now watch Jamie Morris. Now he talks about he's not as fast as Joe Morris, but I don't think that matters here. You see acceleration here. If Mangum doesn't touch him on the foot there, he's got 6 points. I don't think anybody would have caught him.
How fast do you have to be?
In my book, fast enough just so you can get in the end zone.
Clock running at 1:32. Brown lobbing one. Colasar again overthrown.
Bobby, when you're talking about speed and how fast you have to be, that was the thing about Jerry Rice of the San Francisco 49ers. The one knock on Rice was he just doesn't have the speed. Of course, he also has 23 touchdowns.
Yeah, but he's too slow.
I know.
Just like Joe Morris is too short. There's too much made of that speed thing. I mean, if you can run routes, get open and catch the ball. Steve Largent has a lot of speed, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's been about a 4.9.
Oh, the all-time leading receiver in the history of the National Football League.
Gary Moeller, now the offensive coordinator for many years, the defensive coordinator for Bo Schembechler. Illinois head coach, 77-79, pre-Mike White.
Minute 28 to go and a half.
And Brown, Demetrius Brown, to about the 13-yard line. Very close to a first down. And they're going to spot it inside the 12, and it is a first down for Michigan.
Demetrius Brown here, Bobby, it looks like a checkoff because he's calling down a line of scrimmage. We don't know for sure, but now it is. It is a checkoff. And what happens, Jamie Morris demands so much respect. Watch Demetrius Brown. He never looks at Morris. Bunch gets a good block, number 32, but when he never looks at Morris, he holds people. The hole is there.
Michigan takes their first time out, and we'll be right back. Well, Michigan asked for a timeout, but the clock keeper is already cooperating with them. A minute 28 remained when that ball was snapped. Brown gained 11 yards. He's pretty fast, but not that fast. It took 0 seconds.
See, there's where now we're talking about speed, Ahmad. When you can run 11 yards and still have a minute 28. Now that's speed. That's the difference.
You're right.
They're going to get, if they keep the clock like this, they're going to get about 12 or 13 plays.
Morris has 109 of that total on 9 carries. Humphrey 10 for 59 for the Tide. He also had a 20-yarder call back on a penalty. By the way, John Davis of Alabama, who was injured on a punt return, making a kickoff return earlier, has been taken to the locker room for x-rays on his right leg, and we'll get a further report.
Clock is now moving, Bob.
Well,
yeah, they finally got wise, and they're going to take some time off. They take 10 seconds off and put it at 1:18.
They heard you putting some bad lip on the clock man. I'll tell you, here's a situation. You can pick up a first down inside the 2. And I know Jamie can get there from here.
And the point you made earlier about Demetrius, about Jamie putting pressure on the outside as Demetrius runs that option, that's the key to making the option work. When you got a great runner like Jamie Morris who can put the outside pressure on, the quarterback can duck that ball back up inside and get positive yardage.
Everybody seems to tend to overrun to the strength of it, which would be Morris coming down with him.
And they have to. You got to respect them.
Leading 7-3, first down from inside the 12 for Michigan. Morris to about the 9-yard line.
You know, the one man we talked about all week long, Derek Thomas, Cornelius Bennett. Here comes Derek Thomas now, and take a look, or watch what happens. He fights off the block, but Jamie Morris goes right underneath Rockwell. He picks up 3.
Brown looks left, now right to the end zone, broken up. There's a flag on the play. Kermit Kendrick had the coverage on McMurtry.
Legal motion against Michigan.
We are hoping to speak with Bo Schembechler by telephone briefly at halftime. His protege, Gary Moeller, filling in for him. This game, by the way, will count on Bo Schembechler's record.
I want to know who's in Moeller's headset. I talked to Bo last night. He was in very good shape. Our best goes out to him. But you think he might be hooked up to Bo?
Nah.
What did he say to you when it happened to him?
So he felt like he got run over by a Mack truck. He asked me if I'd ever gotten run over by a Mack truck first. I said, yes, once. I got hit by Dick Butkus.
Say, Alabama refused this penalty, and I think it's a smart move. Now you put him in a 3rd down, and they've got to get almost to the 1 for a first down. Give him 1 play instead of 2.
Man-to-man defense up top.
They give it to Morris, and he's denied. .48 seconds remaining.
This is officials' timeout, not one by the team. Now, the question is, is it a 25-second clock, or is the clock?
I don't think it's moving.
I didn't see anybody moving.
That's why we're up here and we don't have on striped shirts.
On the offense, put 51 seconds on the clock.
So they tack 3 seconds back on. 51 remain.
That's why I didn't see it. It was 74.
He only moved a little.
That's what he told the coach.
So they caught Hussar. 3rd down, 13.
They're checking off.
Now, what about accepting this penalty?
They have to. It's before the play started.
Before the snap.
You know, this gives you, when they move him back right here, it gives them a little bit more field position, and it's easier to run a route when you got some room to try to run something. You get up close, it's hard to see the light of day with.
The delay right now, Maude, is that they have 48 seconds on the clock, and the official wants it put back to 51. I don't think the clock man is going to be employed.
Well, actually, the clock man stopped by the booth before the game. He was a very personable fellow, and by virtue of that fact, I will conveniently decline to mention his name.
Okay.
Though I have it here, and should this continue in the second half, the nation will become intimately familiar with him and his entire family. Back to 51. Colasar in motion. Hand it to Morris. And he runs over people to the end zone.
Is that Mike Smith, number 9, he ran over? I believe it was. Mike Smith. I want to tell you, and you talk about you don't ever want to see this film again. Mike Smith doesn't. At least this play. There's your man with the feet.
If you check Michigan's tendencies, when they face 3rd down and 8 or longer, they will give the ball to Morris on a run. Not on some kind of pass. They will give it to him on a run more than half the time, and that's why.
The run is more of a sprint draw. I talked to Jamie yesterday, and he said that's his favorite play.
Gillette for the 14th point. 14-3 Michigan with 47 seconds remaining. A first half suddenly dominated by Jamie Morris after a slow start for him and his team.
We talked about his body lean, his quick feet. He keeps his feet moving all the time. He always makes the right decision. Here he just runs right over the top of it. You know, he's too short. What did I say?
Too slow.
Too slow.
And too short. Watch Elliott, number 72. Take a look at Elliott's block here. That's Cole on the inside. He lets him go because he's already blocked. Now take a look at Elliott. You're not going to get around him. Rockwell is trying to get around Elliott, and that's like trying to run around the side of your house. And then Jamie runs over Mike Smith, and that is embarrassing, man.
Smith was in position. He lowered the head and the shoulder, but Morris gave him the same kind of treatment Bo Jackson gave the Boz in that Monday night game in Seattle.
But when you lower your head, you can't lower your rump. And when you lower your rump, that's the first thing that's going to hit the ground, and it did.
Well, you know what, Coach Moeller, yesterday I saw them in practice, and he said, listen, if you don't get the blocking, just run over the guy.
Yeah, here it is. See how his rear end is dropped?
He took it literal.
Whoa, Jamie.
Yeah, too short.
You don't have to mention his brother anymore, Bobby.
Unofficially, we've got Morris at 11 carries, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns. And they try and keep it away from the deep men. Finally, it's picked up back at the 5-yard line by Kerry Good. And out across the 20. 40 seconds remaining until halftime. The numbers on the Michigan drive. Under Bo Schembechler, and this will count on his record, Michigan, as you know, 3-11 in bowl play. Alabama has won 10 of the last 11 bowl games in which they've appeared. Their most recent defeat in '81 to Texas, 14-12 in the Cotton Bowl.
I just kind of run this one out and try to regroup.
Well, let's see. They give it to Kerry Good. He bounces off people at the line of scrimmage and turns it to the outside. They'll keep the clock running inside half a minute.
Dunn wants a timeout, and I think Bill Curry is saying, listen, let us regroup a little bit. Now they're going to call one.
Dunn wants to score.
That's the first they've used, so they have 2 remaining. We've got basketball coming later today. UCLA and North Carolina. Dick Enberg worked the Rose Bowl yesterday with Merlin Olsen. Moves over to team with Al McGuire from Pauley Pavilion.
You talk about tradition. How about that for basketball tradition? Those 2 schools.
Dean Smith hooking up with Walt Hazzard. Next on NBC. And, of course, we've got the AFC wildcard game tomorrow. The Seahawks visit the Oilers at the Dome.
The Citadel's going to play Emory on Monday, and if any of you guys are interested.
By the way, when I say the Dome, that's Astro, not King.
Paul and I are going to the Astrodome. There's room on the plane. You like to come along?
Now they're going to send me to New York, and I'll be with Don Shula in the studio. We'll check with you guys from Houston. Shula is always very gracious in joining us for postseason play, but if this happens a couple more years, he's going to get awful tired of it. He doesn't want to be in that studio.
I don't think this caps off his season. It actually means that they had a bad year if he's with us at the end of the year.
Second down 3. first down yardage. Doug Allen carried. He'll probably place a phone call back home at halftime. See how wife Sheila is doing. Today's the due date for their first child. They have one timeout left now with 18 seconds.
I've been sitting here this whole first half and watching Michigan's defense and number 60 Mesner, and I don't know if there's a better defensive lineman that I've seen so far watching college football than this young man. Mesner has just done everything that could be asked about him. He rushes from the outside, makes the contain, then gets back to the inside, makes the tackle. Looks at the block very well, Ahmad, reads it, and then gets to the point where he has to be.
A young Randy White type.
I like that.
Plays all over the field.
I like that.
Here's Alabama with 18 seconds remaining, and apparently not content to run it out, trying to put something else on the board. They scored the grand total of 6 points in their last 2 games against Notre Dame and Auburn. Now, in the first quarter of this game, they moved the ball very well, but came away with only the Philip Doyle field goal of 52 yards. On their first possession, they tried to confuse Michigan, came out throwing. They've gone away from that and kept it on the ground by and large since then.
And threw the ball very well. Dunn was right on target.
But if you come in doing something that you're really not comfortable doing, even if you're successful with it, you just don't have that same sort of confidence that you want to have if you are somebody who throws the ball a lot every single game. I think you gotta pass the ball in more than one game to be confident about it.
I like that.
Did that make sense?
Yeah, to you it did.
The quarterback Dunn is a redshirt freshman from Greensboro, North Carolina. Pumping, lots of time, running out of it now. And completes his pass to Pierre Good. Timeout with 7 seconds to play. The first down stopping the clock. They're out near midfield. Dunn played behind Todd Ellis as a high school quarterback. Ellis now at South Carolina, and some people are talking about him as a possible Heisman candidate for next year. So Dunn didn't get to play first string till Ellis graduated. He had been a defensive back. That's where he had most of his play until his senior year in high school. Then he was redshirted here at Alabama as a freshman.
He's tackled. I think that's called being tackled by a host of Michigan tacklers. But that play, they wanted to do that because Good is such a good runner that instead of trying to just run him down the field, they try to get him the ball in the open field and hope he can break 1 or 2 tackles and take it the distance.
Well, one other thing that Pierre Good did so well, he just saw that Dunn was in trouble, had no one to throw to downfield, and he did the smart thing by coming back to the ball, which is one of the hardest things you can teach a young receiver to do.
What they can hope for here is some kind of sideline pattern that might pick up 15 or 20 and get them within range of Doyle again.
The only problem with that, Bobby, is if you run a 15 to 20 yard pattern with only 7 seconds.
Got to be precise.
And you don't have that much time. It's shorter than that. It's got to be a quick pattern to the outside, because the officials, they wait, they're not doing anything wrong. They just wait a second before they call timeout, or they see the guy out of bounds, and it takes a second of the clock to go off.
But they have this play in football where they just throw it up in the end zone and it bounces around and the guy catches it.
No, not in this game.
Good left, Stafford right. Good in motion now. Deep drop. Time's going to run out, even if they complete this one. And it's off the fingertips of Kerry Good, who came out of the backfield. And Dunn and the Tide will have to climb the hill in the second half. Michigan spotted them 3, but has come back to lead 14-3. We'll be back with halftime activities. We'll see both bands, and we hope to have a brief phone conversation with Bo Schembechler as the Hall of Fame Bowl continues from Tampa. Brief period of time in kind of a makeshift setup to talk with Coach Bo Schembechler, who's watching from his home in Ann Arbor. Coach, how are you feeling?
Fine, Bob. As long as we can continue to lead this game, I'll feel real good.
The first couple of times your team had the ball, you tried some different things. Taylor on the first series, Brown on the second, and didn't move until that second quarter.
Well, I think it's very difficult against the Alabama defense until you know what they're going to do. They change from week to week, and of course with a month's preparation, they gave us a lot of different looks there early.
How difficult is it for you to sit at home and watch as your team plays in this bowl game?
This is no way to coach football. I don't ever want to do it again.
How much influence have you had on the preparation for this game? How much is you and how much is Gary Moeller?
I want to say right now, regardless of the outcome of the game, the Michigan staff has done a great job. I've had practically no influence whatsoever on what they've done in preparation for the game, and I think they've done a great job.
You told me last night as we spoke on the phone that you plan to resume pretty close to your full schedule within about a month or so.
Yes, I'll be back in football. Well, I'll see my doctor Monday and see if I can't talk him into a little more activity. I'll begin recruiting in another week or so, and looking forward to spring football.
But you won't be traveling, you tell me, for a while. You might recruit over the phone or whatever, but you won't leave campus for a while, right?
I'm going to have to do all my recruiting this year here in Ann Arbor, and I hope it doesn't have too much of a negative effect on our prospects. I'm sure it won't, because as long as they know I'm going to be back to coach, I don't think it'll hurt us that much.
Coach, thanks very much for your time. We all wish you well. Happy New Year and a speedy recovery.
Happy New Year to you, Bob, and to all you.
After a brief break, away for your sandwich and Coke. Here, let me fix this for you.
Thank you, Bob. This is a lot of fun, huh? Nice to get out of the studio every now and then, huh?
I think it's great fun. Alabama started out having a lot of fun throwing the football, and they threw for 74 yards in that first quarter, and they just totally went away from it, and I don't understand it.
Because college football teams have to do what they do best. If you're a running team, you don't come to a bowl game and become a passing team.
Let's look at one of the key plays here. It's 3-0 Alabama at this point in the second quarter. Now watch Mesner. He's going to hit Dunn, force a fumble. Grant will recover for Michigan. On the very next play, Jamie Morris scored and turned the game around.
This could have turned the tide, so to speak.
Well, as I was talking about Mesner, Mesner is all over the field defensively. Now, Elliott gets the block downfield. Now, this is Jamie Morris' second touchdown, 3rd and long. Take a look at this. And here comes Elliott downfield, and just no way for Rockwell to get around him, and also James being run over down by the 5-yard line.
Now, tell me, if you saw a big jumbo Elliott coming at you, would you let him block it? I'd have to get cute on him.
A glimpse now at the halftime stats.
That's what I was talking about, Bob, when you take a look at it. And here's another thing, you know, when they talk about, hey, look at how many first downs these teams have. And the time of possession. First downs, 11-7. Doesn't mean anything. Scores 14-3.
That's the big stat. that's the big one.
And this is the other. All right, now Michigan, what you were talking about, Ahmad, they're doing what they do so very well, running the football. 92 yards here for Alabama, but you look at the passing. Even if they don't do that consistently all year long, but if it's working in this game, I gotta believe you have to stay with it.
Like I said earlier, though, if you've never done it or you've not done it enough times to be confident with it, then it just doesn't work. You don't have that same sort of sink that passing teams have. Passing teams have the kind of sink. Whenever they need 15 yards, they can get it.
In the first half, Morris carried 11 times for 125 yards and the 2 touchdowns. Humphrey 10 carries for 59 yards. Alan Ward will kick it off. Michigan with a 14-3 lead will have the ball to start the third quarter. Sun was shining at the beginning of the game. Cloudy skies now. The kick carries only to the 15-yard line. And big trouble for Alabama as Ward, the kicker, can't make the tackle. And Allen Jefferson, the sophomore, finally is taken down by John Mangum to prevent a touchdown return. But as it is, they're into Alabama territory.
Well, Jefferson is flying. Look at, he gets excellent blocks right in at the point of attack, which is at the wedge, and then it's now outrun everyone else. The kicker didn't do anything.
The key to that run is he hit the wedge going full speed. That's what coaches always want to tell you. You got to hit the wedge going full speed.
45-yard return by Jefferson, a sophomore from Detroit, who sustained a broken arm before the Michigan State game. He'd been averaging 8 yards a carry out of the backfield prior to that. And now it's Jamie Morris, right back to work. Morris to the outside for about 7. There's a flag on the play.
Jamie Morris, though, showed some speed there. You see him go to the outside. With no speed, that play becomes minus yards. But he had enough speed to at least get outside and turn it upfield a bit. And punish the last tackler.
Ahmad, you know, you're doing a lot of coaching points. It's a face mask against Alabama. You're doing a lot of coaching points, which is so true about a guy like Morris. When you said before, Jamie Morris can see a hole, pick a hole, and when you take a look at this play here, watch what happens. Jamie goes in, there's nothing there. He knows he can't go anywhere, back outside.
And he has enough speed to turn the corner.
And here comes, that's Jelks, number 22, that grabs him by the face mask. They called him, and that's a 5-yard deal. And we had an injured Alabama player on that play, and I think it's Willie Shepard, 96.
Yeah, it is Willie Shepard who was hurt and being helped off. You know, we talked about this game as a Heisman showcase for Humphrey, and it's not that he's done poorly, but he's certainly been upstaged by Morris. Coming into the '88 season, Humphrey will be one of the people they'll talk about. Troy Aikman, the quarterback at UCLA. Craig Ironhead Hayward of Pitt, who finished 5th this year. That was the highest of any underclassman. Humphrey finished 10th. Blair Thomas from Penn State. Maybe Rodney Peete from USC, who did pretty well, but was not on the winning side in the Rose Bowl yesterday. And if, in fact, we believe the old adage that it's preseason hype, it's that buildup that matters when you go for the Heisman, a big game here would certainly help Humphrey. Here's Demetrius Brown, wide open for McMurtry, but he could not hold on. It would have been a great catch. He tried to bat it up with the left hand and then catch it as it came down and couldn't do it.
Throw was a little bit high and behind him, but they had time. You don't get another shot at things like this. Look how wide open the receiver is. You got to put that ball out in front of him. It should have been an easy catch.
Jelks, who was hit with the face mask penalty on the previous play, was badly beaten on that one. Certainly. But Brown has missed open receivers throughout the day.
He also got some pressure on the backside for Rockwell.
Jamie Morris. 4 red shirts around him after a short gain.
Jamie Morris on the carry.
This offensive line is awesome. Now, you were talking it before. Big against quick. Big's beaten quick.
Well, what happens is Big wears down quick, and then quick becomes less quick, and then Big dominates.
There's Big. Here's Big. See, that's real big.
As in Jumbo. John Jumbo Elliott. 306, big enough for you? I like it. 3rd down 6. Morris, they expected it, but he was still able to juke his way away from the first group of tacklers. He does not have the first down. He's short by about 1.5 yards.
The guy he juked away from was Tommy Cole, 51. He made him sick. All right, we'll take a look at Elliott. Now, Elliott blocks out. Now, watch this. Can you see a red shirt through there anywhere? That's Rockwell.
When you're trying to get around Elliott, it's like trying to get around a Winnebago.
They bring Taylor in on 4th down and 1.5 yards.
Option.
Now they just give it to Bunch, and he's got a bunch, but loses the ball, and it looks like Kendrick has got it. Maybe Rory Turner. It's Alabama ball, and it is Rory Turner, a junior from Atlanta, Georgia, on the fumble recovery.
But look at the hole in the line. The hole was just wide open when Bunch goes through, and he gets hit from the back, and I think it was Rockwell, number 57, that hit him.
So the Wolverines cough it up with 13:10 to play in the 3rd. The 1988 Hall of Fame Bowl is brought to you by Budweiser, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. This Bud's for you by Pontiac, America's road car company. Pontiac, we build excitement, and by the U.S. Army, a place to be all you can be. Well, even though the sun is hidden for the moment by the clouds, the temperatures are still in the 70s here in Tampa, and according to the weather forecast, they expected around 40 degrees in Tuscaloosa today and about 20 in Ann Arbor.
What would you do here, Coach? First one, throw it.
I throw a bomb to Pierre Good right away. Get rid of the ball quick.
Here it comes.
Allen with Humphrey in the backfield. Nope. It'll be Humphrey only back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, we had two choices.
Oh, that was my second choice. Or I'd give the ball to Humphrey right up the middle. See? I had it covered.
Michigan might have been on the verge of opening up a huge lead here. Bunch had picked up the first down on 4th and 1, first down and then some, but then coughs it up, and Rory Turner makes the big fumble recovery for Alabama.
Big turnaround. That could have turned the entire thing around, Bob. You're exactly right.
12.5 minutes to play. Third quarter, 14-3 Michigan. From his end zone, Dunn. Complete to Whitehurst.
You're only a play late. And a different guy.
A gain of 19 to the 24 for a Bama first down.
Now, if you think it's easy to throw from the quarterback position, this is the way he sees it. Looking down the field.
He faked it to Humphrey that held everybody.
He puts the ball right on the money. The Whitehurst holds on to this one. Dunn is having an exceptional day. He's been accurate the entire day.
First down, Humphrey.
Ever since Humphrey in the beginning of this game, in the first quarter, in the beginning of the second quarter, taking that little delayed draw, Ahmad, and running towards the middle, and it was open. It seems that Michigan has made the adjustment inside, and now they're just pinching off with the two inside tackles so they can't get to the middle and getting those linebackers out to the outside where he can't break it off.
Give him credit for a couple. 61 for the game. They pitch it to him again. Across the 30-yard line. Humphrey had a 220-yard game this year against Penn State. He's gone over 200 4 times in his career. And in Alabama history, there have been only 2 other 200-yard single-game performances. Johnny Musso in 1970 against Auburn, and Bobby Marlowe did it in 1951. Third down, call it 4. The fake, and now the pitch to Humphrey. Stopped.
What a super play on the outside by Alan Bishop. Alan Bishop was getting blocked. He got off of the block and gets Humphrey on the toss. This is just excellent outside play by a cornerback. Watch this. Here, you'll see the toss to Humphrey. Look to the left of your screen, and you're going to see, here's Bishop. He was being blocked downfield by 91 Epps, the tight end, got away from him.
Junior Chris Moore to punt. Colasar is the single safety. Lets it bounce and roll dead at about the 20. 38-yard punt without a return. 10:33 to play third quarter. Hall of Fame Bowl, Tampa, Florida. Michigan 14, Bama 3. We asked Jamie Morris to compare himself to older brother Joe Morris of the Giants.
We're both short. That's a similarity. Where the difference is that Joe's more of a long run hitter. He can go all the way with the ball, and I find myself getting caught from behind on long runs. So that's the major difference, I'd say.
In Morris's personal duel thus far with Humphrey, each has carried 14 times. Morris has just about double Humphrey's total, 142 to 67.
There's another difference also, Bobby. Jamie can catch the ball coming out of the backfield extremely well. Joe, in my opinion, being strictly a runner. He said that Joe taught him how to catch. He used to go out and throw the ball to him all the time, and then Joe would go back and lift weights for the rest of the day.
Jamie must not have thrown the ball back.
Taylor, the option guy, with the 3 backs, keeps it, and they swarm all over it.
Greg Gilbert, the linebacker, excellent play.
We haven't called Derek Thomas's name that often.
No, the way you mobilize a player like this is you run right at him. If you run away from him, he can, he's such a great athlete that he really can run behind blocks and still make the tackle. This is one of the few times they've run away from him, but I've noticed earlier they've been running right at the guy.
And there was Gilbert making the play, number 56.
He was in there. He was on the pile. Thomas.
2nd and 7. They go from the eye. They give it to Jamie Morris. He squirts free, and it's a foot race that he will win. Jamie Morris. Around 200 yards for the day and 3 touchdowns. He says he's caught from behind more often than Brother Joe. Nobody caught him then.
Well, that was Gilbert, number 56, the linebacker, chasing him. We know he's not going to catch him. But the blocking and then the power of Morris as he gets through the hole. First of all, let's look at the blocking on that side. That's Elliott. He blocks down. He takes people to the inside, and Gilbert's the one guy blocked.
You see how quick Morris got through that hole? He has an excellent relationship with his lineman. As soon as they're making the block, he's making the breakthrough. And right here, it is so long, Charlie Brown or
Gilbert.
Whomever.
Greg Gilbert.
Gillette will kick it, and he will hit it. Jamie Morris has established a career high. He's got 219 after that 77-yarder. Previous high, 210 last year against Ohio State.
Look at number 33, Horde, the fullback. Watch his block. When he goes up, and that's Brown coming in, 33 kicks out. They seal off on the inside, and you're right about Morris.
He always picks the right hole. He follows his blocking perfectly and then turns on the speed right at the right time, bursts through the tacklers, and doesn't slow down. Slow down, Jamie, until he gets to the end zone. He's not about to get caught today.
That one was for Amy.
There you go now. His teammates been riding him about Amy all week.
That was for you, Amy.
I told him they're jealous.
Amy's his girlfriend, just to clarify, folks.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. Hopefully she's his girlfriend, or else we're in a lot of trouble.
No. He's in a lot of trouble.
Folks in trouble now are at Alabama. 21-3 Michigan. 9:36 to play, third quarter. Humphrey 26, Pierre Good 2, awaiting the kick.
Pierre's taking the place of his brother, Kerry Good now.
With Sutkowitz, Pierre Good. To about the 28. By the way, for those not familiar with the Alabama squad and seeing the spelling on the graphics, G-O-O-D-E, it is pronounced Good, not good.
He also has a brother, plays for the Indianapolis Colts.
You know, they talk about important plays and important series. Every single one of them are important. But this one here, if Bama can't move the ball, they are really in deep trouble.
Pierre Good in motion. Doug Allen in the backfield with Humphrey. They give it to Good on the reverse, and they ham him in.
J.J. Grant, number 95. What a play. He just never took the fake. And that's a loss of 2. Here comes Pierre Good. Now, as a runner now, not as a pass receiver on this delay, and it's a reverse coming around. But J.J. Grant, just watch number 95 come in your picture. Down the line of scrimmage, makes the play.
Well, they want to get Pierre the ball out in the open. They haven't been able to throw him the ball, so they're trying to get it to him on reverses, which haven't worked very good.
2nd and 12. Dunn scrambles, slips a tackle, and turns it into something worthwhile.
I couldn't help that, fellas, on the Good.
I know. I liked it. Dunn hands off. He's having problems. Now, some guys go the wrong way. Here he goes back to pass. And look at the pressure on him. He has just no place to go. And when you're forced out of the pocket that quick, when you can't even set up, Billy Harris, the nose guard, number 56, was the first guy there. He was there at the time Dunn just turned to set up. And you can't throw from that position.
You got 7, 3rd and 5. A little over 8 minutes to play, third quarter. 21-3 Wolverines. That's the first down. And more than that, Bo Wright into Michigan territory at the 48. Senior from Pritchard, Alabama, turns in a big play for the Tide. 18-yard pickup.
Well, that time you got Bo Wright coming out on linebackers, and I don't know whether if Grant had him or not, but here's Grant. taking a look, and Bo Wright comes out that side. Watch Bo go. He just goes right by him. The linebacker overcommitted himself. Now they pick up a first down.
But he can't run with Bo Wright. Bo Wright runs a 4.340, so if he gets him in a running contest, he's got all the...
Here's Humphrey on the pitch on the first down play, picking up 4 to the 44. Isn't it strange? We mentioned this before. Bill Curry with his team down 18. That in the long and glorious history of Alabama football, and you'd think of all the great players, no Alabama player has ever finished higher than 4th in the Heisman balloting. There's been only one Michigan winner. That was Tom Harmon. Oh, got rid of it to Humphrey just as he was smacked. Humphrey averts disaster and then picks up some yardage.
I'm going to tell you something. Mesner hit Dunn. I'm proud of you, young man. You got up. And Campbell then hits Humphrey at the end of it. Just take a look at, watch to the left of your screen, folks, and you're going to see a quarterback disappear. Now, he's gone. That's what put the ball outside. But Humphrey picked up some yards. You might as well keep this play. Here comes Campbell. Watch, he does not let Humphrey get around.
Sue Cannell comes up and puts a hit. You can't let the back just make you decide what you want to do. You got to go ahead and be aggressive and make the tackle, and that's what Campbell did.
They need 2. Humphrey's got it.
Humphrey's looking for Sue Campbell on that one. You notice as he got down there in that secondary, he just put his head down and just barreled for a couple of extra yards.
When you start getting some hats put on your head, and you start thinking about it, you know he got something in his eye.
You know, the thing that Michigan does, and they've done this for years, is they challenge you as a football player. How tough are you?
That's when you cut a new route.
Down by 18. This one is lobbed to the outside, near disaster, as David Arnold almost intercepted it. He picked off 3 this year.
We've got an injured Michigan player on the field. I don't know who Dunn was. I know he's trying to throw it to Good, but Arnold looked like he was the best man in the pattern.
It's J.J. Grant, who's had a big game for Michigan. He's the guy who's down. As they check on him, we'll step aside.
One of the knocks on Dunn is that he lacks touch. Now here you see him, there's no pressure on him at all, and he throws a perfect ball too hard. He throws it perfectly right to Arnold. That's something that a quarterback has to develop over the years. You got to have some touch.
But one of his outstanding qualities, he wins the others' respect because he has what they call a linebacker's disposition, much like a Jim Kelly with the Buffalo Bills. Sure, he's one of the boys. He goes in and lifts weights with them. He's tough. Another quarterback might have been done after that hit on Dunn. He bounces right back up.
You'll be dreaming about Mesner for about a week.
Those won't be dreams, they'll be nightmares. Second down 10. Short drop, wobbly throw, and it's caught. Angelo Stafford makes the catch.
I've been throwing to this guy all day, Ahmad.
He put that ball right on the money, and that's the way you want that ball to come to you. You want it in a hurry so you can catch it and get a chance to run. Yeah, but you float that baby in there like that, you can put one of those guys asleep.
Angelo Stafford, this guy's 6'12", about 240, and can fly. I mean, you know, he's a big target. You've got to throw the ball to this man, and he's got pretty good hands.
He needs to introduce himself to Dunn.
He's 6'6", 213. He was Cornelius Bennett's roommate a year ago. Metropolitan Life blimp overhead.
He was a quarterback in high school. They had him at tight end and moved him out to wide receiver to split end. Great target.
First down at the 22-yard line. 6 minutes to play, third quarter. Jamie Morris has had a career today. 219 yards, 3 touchdown runs. Fake to Humphrey. Lots of time. Overthrown.
Well, let me tell you something. I said he was 6'12", but he's not that tall. He's only 6'6". I mean, you can be as high as you want to be, Ahmad, but there's only so far you can go straight up in the air. Here comes Stafford out now. And just take a look where this ball is thrown. It is fired. Now watch this. Now, you were going to say he got his hand on it, he should have caught it, right?
No, I wasn't going to say that at all. He got his hand on it, and I bet his hand hurts. That's what I was going to say.
Wright joins Humphrey as the second back. Bobby Humphrey in motion on the play. Dunn straight back. Humphrey makes the sliding catch. He's down at about the 17-yard line. It'll leave them with 3rd down and 4. 5.5 minutes to play in the quarter.
Mallory was right there with him.
Doug Mallory is the son of Bill Mallory, now the head football coach at Indiana. Indiana beat Michigan this year, 14-10. Both these teams were 7-4 during the regular season. Bill Curry inherited a team that had 8 players drafted and 5 others signed as free agents by the NFL this year, so they were depleted. Dunn wants a timeout. And so do our sponsors with 4:59 to play in the 3rd.
Hey, did you see that?
Well, it's back to work tomorrow under more familiar circumstances. NFL Live at 3:30 Eastern Time, the wild card game. The Seahawks and the Oilers. And Seattle's about a 2-point favorite despite the fact that they're on the road, so they relinquished the huge advantage at the Kingdome, and they're without Kurt Warner.
That's a team that I just can't figure out. They win the games they're supposed to lose, and they lose the games they're supposed to win. And if they lose the game tomorrow, then their season's over.
Just depends on which team they bring with them this time.
Third down, 4 now for Alabama. Following the timeout, Dunn fires, touchdown. Howard Cross, the tight end.
No one covered him. He was wide open. He went down the middle of the field, or down the hash mark, and not a soul stayed with him. They're going to go for 2 here.
Jeff Dunn put that ball right on the money.
They say Howard doesn't have hands. If he'd have dropped that ball, just leave your uniform and go right on out of the stadium. Don't even get on the bus.
I don't think he could have dropped that one. I think Dunn stuck it on him. This game's so hard.
So now they'll try for 2 to get within range of tying with a touchdown and field goal, or perhaps winning with a field goal and a touchdown followed by another 2-point conversion. This could bring them to within 10. Dunn dives.
Oh, he didn't make it.
And he is stopped, I believe, by about a millimeter. Well, he stuck his head in there, but so did the defender.
What a great
Eric Campbell.
Yep.
Eric Campbell just hammers him. Watch number 5. They got Bobby Humphrey going down the line. Dunn is not really looking at him. And watch Campbell right here. He just took his head off and did not allow him to go forward at all.
Great effort, though, by Dunn. What a great effort.
They make them tough in Gary, Indiana. That's where Campbell's from. Dunn didn't yield either, but what a collision. Stopped on the 2-point conversion try. This is the touchdown that preceded it. Cross wide open.
And it's a ball you want to be thrown very hard.
Well, that play there, if you looked right at the end of the play, was Campbell. Watch Campbell, number 5. He just does not cover. He goes towards the middle of the field. Nobody's there. And Campbell, that's not Campbell, number 10. Number 10 is Bishop. But you see Campbell coming in now. 85 is Cross making a touchdown, but Campbell never got to where he was supposed to be. Okay, Bobby, you went through the field goal, the touchdown, the 2-point play.
You mean all the what-ifs?
Yeah, all what-ifs. Now they're down 21 now. 9. Go ahead. It's your turn. Do it again now.
They should score a lot of touchdowns between now and the end of the game so they don't have to worry about it. Just put a whole bunch of 6s on it.
I like that, though.
Ward had kicked off earlier. Now they go to Doyle, who had the 52-yard field goal. Colasar at the 8. they stand him up at the 24. 21-9 Michigan.
Scoring drives seem to take longer than Michigan's.
Yeah, that's because Jamie Morris took it all in one gulp, 77 yards worth.
See how observant I am?
Just under 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Lots of time for good things to happen for Alabama, provided they can stop Morris,
which they haven't been able to do all day.
Here he is, and there he goes. Nope. I'm so carried away with him that I overlooked Leroy Horde. He has a right to have his name called on his only carry.
So did Alabama. They're also carried away with Morris. They overlooked him too.
He looks so much like Jamie coming out of here. You got 23 and 33 in the backfield. You see Horde, but take a look at the blocking. Huszar, number 74, gets an excellent block on the outside. And Horde just tried to run over. If he runs over the last man, it's touchdown.
He got 14 yards. That's Jamie Morris for sure.
These Michigan offensive linemen, over the years, they've had more than 30-some offensive linemen drafted in the National Football League. Reggie McKenzie, a teammate of mine, they have so much pride in the running attack, and you can see that in this game here. Watch Elliott.
Look at Elliott. He goes just down the field and it just creams the linebacker. Elliott.
And then lays on him. Don't let him up. Lay on him for a little
300-some pounds. How are you getting up? But you look at Elliott. You think this isn't a pro coach's dream? Sometimes he plays left tackle. Then he can move him back to the right-hand side. He plays the right tackle.
He's big enough to play them both at the same time.
Morris cut down behind the line of scrimmage. And that's cause for celebration. Van Treese Davis, sophomore from Phoenix City, Alabama, gets credit for the stop. It's not Leroy Neiman, but the game is being captured for posterity.
And
is he drawing a play? What is he doing here?
It's called a stadium.
Demetrius Brown comes back in on 3rd and long. They need 10. The south part of the air, over the middle, intended for Colasar and swatted down.
Mangum almost picked it off. I was watching Jamie Morris on this thing. Jamie Morris slips out of the backfield. He's behind the linebackers, and they never see him. Look at, right in front, you'll see Jamie Morris. There's not a soul near him. And here comes Magnum into the inside, throwing into double coverage to Colasar. Not a good place to throw, and you've got to look from upstairs to see that. Just look at Jamie across the line of scrimmage, dump it to him. He can catch.
Clay Whitehurst drops back in anticipation of Robbins' punt.
Rocket Man.
Fair catch called for and made at the 15-yard line. 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the third. 21-9 Michigan. 47-yard punt without a return. And coming up next, a reminder, we return to the hardwood following the football game. Two teams rich in basketball tradition, just as these are on the gridiron. North Carolina and UCLA. Dick Enberg and Al McGuire will have the call from Pauley Pavilion right after this one is concluded.
Good news for Michigan. J.J. Grant is back in the game. Number 95.
They give it to Humphrey. Looks like he's got a first down or very close to it. If he's shy, it's by less than a yard.
Now we got an injured player on him. That's Bobby Abrams, number 24. The linebacker is slow getting up. He's limping back into the huddle, but
I really think the only way that Alabama can be successful against this Michigan defense is you have to stretch them out. With all the speed that Humphrey has, he's got to stretch him out east and west and then try to cut back behind a block to get a big run coming. He was pretty close on that run. He's been close all day, but Michigan's got excellent pursuits.
and they always seem to like to run Humphrey to the short side of the field.
That's always strange. You'd think you take a guy with all that speed to run into the wide side.
But that's because Michigan's overloading to the wide side.
Humphrey got 9 on the last carry. Gets them a first down on this one.
And you want to know another reason? Because Mesner's sitting over there on the wide side. And he said, I don't want to go over there anymore.
I think I'd run away from Mesner.
That's what they're actually doing now. They're get Mesner to the wide side of the field, and they're running back to the short side.
Pierre Good back into the game. I'd like to see him just throw one real good long pass to Pierre.
You better get somebody out here and cover Stafford.
The play fake to Humphrey. Long on the other side for Stafford. Caught out of bounds by about a city block.
Well, Bishop was supposed to be covering me. He was having problems with his helmet. When he went to put his helmet on, the donut comes out. He's looking for the peak. Look at, there's Bishop. He just got parts of his helmet. Here comes Stafford. See, there's no one there. All of a sudden, Bishop shows up. Come on, Bishop, show up. There you are. He shows up, and this ball is thrown out of bounds. Bishop doing a little leaning.
Peach Bowl. 21-10 Volunteers over the Hoosiers. 2nd and 10. Dunn bounces it over toward Humphrey. It was Messner again who got in there and applied the pressure.
And Billy Harris, the nose guard. When you have 2 linemen in the backfield, watch it. There they are together. Now watch who ends up by the quarterback. There's Messner's going to come in. Here comes Billy Harris right there. They're both on the play. They're both linemen. You don't need to blitz linebackers.
Messner does what all great linemen do. He never gives up. No matter how many people are blocking him, he keeps constant pressure on the quarterback.
You know, and people sit down at home sometimes, especially with the opposing team, say, why do they keep showing this guy? Because he is such a good player. He's such a dominant force on defense, you have to show him.
They need 10 to keep the football from their own 31. Lob it over the middle. Good catch made by Allen. Stopped right about at the stick. This is very close to a first down.
Smith.
Well, the linebackers, Ahmad forgot to pick up the fullback coming out of the backfield.
Well, what if they take their wide receivers and send them deep and then send the fullback right outside, little dump pass underneath the defense and hope he can run it for the first down. This is one of those things where the official, it all depends on, come running out there, it all depends on what foot they put the ball on. If they put it on the left foot, it's a first down. The right foot, it's a little short.
And they've got it with 1:32 to play in the third, 21-9 in favor of Michigan.
You just laid a John Madden on us.
Who's John Madden?
My, aren't we bold?
Oh. 120 and counting in this third period.
And the pitch is to Bo Wright. Manages to turn the corner for short yardage. Humphrey, by the way, is at 99 yards on 19 carries. Morris, 17 carries for 219.
Pretty good run.
It wasn't a bad run, but I'll tell you, the defense, when you string it out that far, there's just no place to go. The offense is trying to stay with the defensive lineman, and just watch it down the line. Is that Grant 95 on the outside here? Watch him. No, on the inside. That's Herman. They just keep going down the line of scrimmage and down the line of scrimmage, and as long as you do that, there's not too many places you can run except out of bounds.
Yeah, but see, that's what's frightening when you get on that sideline and there's nothing but white and yellow on your left side.
On 2nd and 8, Dunn's pass is caught by Stafford. And Stafford, anxious to let off some steam, decides that relatively short gain is enough cause for a celebration.
Stafford looking a little like Darth Vader with that.
That's Arnold.
Sunglasses on. Yeah. Just a simple down and out route. The ball's put right on the line. Good catch. They can do that all day, I think.
Little national TV time, gain of 11. Good enough. Start the party.
Somebody got to tell him he's down by 12 points first. Start celebrating when you get ahead.
Humphrey stays back to block. Dunn's pass off the hands. Stafford had a chance that time, and it was a pretty well thrown ball by Dunn.
J.J. Grant, the linebacker, again, almost got his hand on the ball, but that ball, again, Dunn put the ball where the ball had to be.
You got to make the tough catches. The last little out catch is an easy ball. This ball is more important. He's wide open here. You can't lose the concentration. Ball's right off of his hands. Dunn can do no better. I mean, what is he needs to run out there and hand it to him, but that ball was right on the money.
Why didn't he put up his finger that time when he dropped it?
They pitch to Humphrey. He slips down. They lose a yard. Might have been the last play of the quarter. 20 seconds left.
See, I'd hurry up and run a play here, Ahmad. Why let all that time run off the clock? They had like 23 seconds after they ran the play. Get up to the line of scrimmage. Get a play off before the quarter. You're going to need all the plays you can get.
And it looks like they will. The snap. Nope, they didn't beat it.
Can't believe that. Cannot believe that. You've got to get a playoff with 23 seconds left to go.
So at the end of the third quarter, the score, Michigan 21, Alabama 9. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. It's the Hall of Fame Bowl, and there are several Alabama and Michigan players and coaches represented in the College Football Hall of Fame. Bear Bryant, perhaps most prominent among them from Alabama's perspective. And there is the sole player remaining on the Alabama team, Vernon Wilkinson, who played for Bear Bryant. He's 24 years old. This is his 6th season. Why? Well, he was redshirted. That would account for a 5th year. But he was given special dispensation by the NCAA, as will occasionally happen in unique circumstances. He was involved in an automobile accident in 1986 and was in a coma for 5 days. They allowed him an extra year because obviously he missed that season. Dunn's pass is right on the money. Whitehurst makes the catch, and Bishop, annoyed, perhaps goes after him with a little bit of extra vigor.
Watch the move, Ahmad.
Very good move by Whitehurst. Here's the guy. He knows how to run routes. He gets Bishop head up here, takes him to the inside, makes him turn his shoulders, and just when he turns his shoulders, he breaks it back out. The ball's right on the money. Nice catch. Nice play.
And that ball's in the air. That's when you get the quarterback is throwing well, when the ball's in the air before you make your turn.
From the 31 now, the pitch to Humphrey, the reverse to Good, no. Dave Folkertsma, senior from Grand Rapids, makes the big play for Michigan.
Well, what happened, the blocker on Folkertsma blocked him to the inside, and Good said it going deep. I know how much you love these reverses, Ahmad.
I hate reverses. Every time I ran a reverse, I could hear, I'd sit out there, and everybody in the stadium would be going, watch for the reverse. That's what's happening to Good. Well,
Folkertsma, the guy that was blocking him, was Dunn, the quarterback. You got 1st and 10, now you got 2nd and 19.
First minute of the fourth quarter. 21-9 Michigan. Dunn. Folkertsma chasing him. Throws on the run for the completion. Complete at the 20 to Cross.
Who said Cross couldn't catch?
I like this enthusiasm. I like to see a guy get excited like that.
All right, watch Dunn now. He gets out, and the force is on him. Good blocking in the offensive line just to stay with the people, and then Dunn lets it fly.
Important thing, Cross doesn't quit. As long as the quarterback's alive, you got to keep running and trying to come back to the quarterback. That's what he did there.
For a gain of 20 to the 20. Humphrey now turns the corner and is taken down as he moves inside the 10. 1st and goal, Alabama.
And the key to this play, again, is tying up the outside guy. Look at Humphrey. Humphrey gave the way. All right, Mesner gets blocked to the inside or held to the inside. And on the outside, Whitehurst gets Mallory, number 8. And once that happens, just tying him up, Humphreys through the hole.
That's right. You got a running back like Bobby Humphrey. All the lineman got to do is get on your man and allow him a chance to get on the outside. He'll do the rest.
First and goal from the 7. Scratch the 2nd and 2 you saw on your screen. Here comes Good again. Maybe it'll work. Airborne nearly to the goal line and taken down at the 1.
Good took off at the 5, did he? Looked like he took off at the 5.
He's just an excellent athlete. The guy used to play running back, and that's why they keep trying to give him the ball on the outside sweeps. They haven't thrown the ball to him too many times, but he shows right here just how good of a running back he is. Watch him take the ball upfield, come to the inside, and just try to dive into the end zone. He stopped just a little bit short.
There, Campbell, number 5, got him.
And they want a timeout, which is going to leave them with 1. Could be a factor as they trail 21-9 with just under 13 minutes left. The 1988 Hall of Fame Bowl is brought to you by Budweiser, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. This Bud's for you. By Chrysler. Chrysler believes a luxury car should be a great driving car. At Chrysler, we're driving to be the best. And by UPS for overnight delivery from coast to coast. UPS runs the tightest ship in the shipping business.
Here, really trying to get into this end zone. Watch him get a running start. He's a track man, maybe a long jumper. He tries to take off and get in from the 5-yard line. If it isn't for Soup Campbell, he's in the end zone.
There's a fly in Campbell's soup.
Oh, you wacky punsters. Humphrey for the touchdown. That touchdown is the 38th of his career. It ties him with Johnny Musso for the most in Alabama history.
He goes over the center. Zuga, Anderson, the left guard, and Condon. And they just blow out the middle of that line. Just take a look at it. Right up over the top.
Bill Curry's reaction? Yeah, we're back in the game. They'll go for the 1, and they'll get it. With Doyle drilling it through. So it's 21-16. It had been 21-3 Michigan, and a world of time left, 12:54.
Research showed us that most of the business on Route 4...
Inside, you've got a total alteration of the building
I don't
site.
think the board could ever recommend that discussion.
I'll leave now or I'll miss my flight.
Right. Excuse me, Richard's schedule is rather tight today. He has another pressing engagement.
I do have flight 139 leaving in 20 minutes, but only in first class.
I'll take it. Okay, they're calling my flight. I'll be there. Miss much?
No, it just started. Isn't she beautiful?
Where is she?
The second potted plant from the left.
Coming through when you're needed most. Membership has its privileges.
They go to Humphrey for the touchdown, then we'll go to Cross for his reaction.
You know, it's tough to neutralize that big Michigan line. They do it very well right there. Give them a chance to jump over into the end zone. Now, this is what I like about college football. Cross makes his block, watches, sees it's a touchdown, and now goes into some, I don't know what that is, but he looks like he's awful happy.
That's a new dance.
He almost pulled his boogie muscle on the play. The drive for Bama as they get back in the game.
Well, Bobby, you pointed out something just before that touchdown with Alabama taking their second timeout. in this ball game, and coming down, it's going to be a close football game. When you need some timeouts, you only have one. Well, you only have one because you don't get a 2-minute warning in college football.
Michigan has the full complement of 3. Allen Jefferson to return. He had a big run back to start the second half. Better than 40 yards. This one's good for 16. About to the 26. The Peach Bowl is the other college game, and look at that. What do you know? Also in the 4th, same score, 21-16.
Unbelievable. That's pretty unbelievable.
Oh, if Tennessee were playing Michigan, they'd be tied.
Or the other way around.
I like it.
They've gone with Taylor and Brown both at quarterback. It's Demetrius Brown on this series. The junior from Miami.
Ford's in there with Morris.
Nearly 13 minutes remaining, and the lead sliced to 5. Jamie Morris. 2, maybe 3 yards before they push him back. Greg Gilbert led the charge. By the way, Derek Thomas has been officially credited with 1 tackle thus far.
You know, you sit there and think, okay, you're only up by 5. You got 12 and a half minutes and counting in the game. And why give it to Jamie Morris in that part of the field between the guards? That's where he's been breaking it from the tackles on in. The plays are being made there. He breaks the plays. If there's anyone can find a hole, as you pointed out before, Maude, he's the guy that can find it.
Demetrius Brown playing with the broken left thumb, dislocated right thumb. In some trouble, almost chased down, flips it out to Morris, who can't hold it. Willie Wyatt was all over it.
It's a good thing Morris couldn't hold it. They've been dropped for about a 7 or 8 yard loss. There's a certain time in a running back or any player's mind, you got to become a football player. Now, if he catches this ball, there's too much pressure over there on him. You see Brown trying to throw it to him, there's players all around. You got to let that ball go.
And that's the one thing I like, too, about college football. There's no such thing as in the grasp. There'll be whistles and flags and stuff in the pros all over the place.
You put a uniform on, you got to be a player.
Profound.
Exactly 12 minutes to play. The fake. Brown can't hit Colasar.
And Colasar was wide open. Brown had great protection. Nobody rushing him. Colasar made his break to the outside and just could not get the ball to him.
Demetrius showing the touch of a blacksmith. That ball was thrown way too hard. And wide.
Gary Moeller giving him an earful.
He's telling you just what I said, I bet.
So Robbins punts. Whitehurst waits for it. Takes a good Michigan bounce and out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Mesner and his buddies go back to work. The pressure on Michigan now. Alabama with the ball, trailing by only 5.
Hey, Maude, you think Mesner is tough? He's trying to eat the fan. Look at this. Trying to cool his lips down.
Well, he's been keeping it quite hot for all those Alabama players most of the game.
And he's not in the game at this point.
After the punt, he started back onto the field and then turned toward the sideline.
Get some fresh bodies in there, just for a couple plays.
First man through gets the carry. It's Doug Allen. Gain of a couple. Bama trails 21-16. 11 and a half to play in the game. Hall of Fame Bowl from Tampa. Turns it upfield as a flag goes down.
Where that flag is, that's got to be holding. Got to be.
Yes, it is.
That's one thing. Now, in contrast, here's the one thing I like about pros. At least they tell you who it was. In the college, they don't want to embarrass their families or anything, or anybody.
I guarantee you Bill Curry knows who held. It is on the center, number 66. He's got an arm lock on him there.
Schultz, that's a takedown. Watch Humphrey, though. Just skip through the hole right there. He still picked up about 8 yards on the play. Looked like he was tackled behind the line.
Bill Curry will have something to say to his center, saying that he was quite a good center himself in his day.
Oh, yeah, snapped the ball to Bart Starr and Johnny Unitas both in the pros.
Bobby, here's a situation where Alabama can take some time and just try to get into field goal range because they're only down 5 points. So 2 field goals can win it for them.
There's your man back in.
All right, Mez, go get him. Mez. Oh, he got Humphrey.
There's a hole, but a good play by Mallory for the tackle.
And I'm going to tell you what, Chapman, number 70 for Alabama, put Mesner on the ground. And I think it was Chapman on that side. Yeah, it sure is. Watch this block. Right to the legs, Mesner down. Excellent block by Chapman. Look at Mesner back up on his feet again.
He got 9. Third down and just shy of 10 to go. Humphrey in motion out to the left. Dunn guns one over the middle, and he had Stafford open, and they couldn't connect.
Maude, when you see Stafford going down the field, and that ball was thrown out in front of him, not behind him, why would he put up his left hand instead of his right? Watch this. I mean, if he has a chance to catch that ball at all, it's with his right hand, the farthest away hand, wouldn't he?
Or at least both of them. He had a chance to at least reach at it.
We'll ask him after the game, though, a bit.
More to punt.
Super.
Colasar, fair catch, 24-yard line. 42-yard kick by Chris Moore without a return.
I think Dunn realizes that he missed him here. He missed him a little bit. He had a chance to make a big play. The ball was thrown a little bit high. He's upset about it.
The Metropolitan Life blimp, based in Kissimmee, Florida. Crowd of better than 60,000. This is the home of the Tampa Bay Bucks, and now the home of the former head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Ray Perkins. Demetrius Brown remains on the sidelines. And out comes Michael Taylor at quarterback. Michigan by 5 with 10:15 left. Here goes Jamie Morris. Doesn't add much to his total, which was 221 before that carry. For those of you who tuned in expecting to see basketball, you will, but a bit later than its scheduled time. It's North Carolina and UCLA coming up from the West Coast. Dick Enberg and Al McGuire right after the football game.
Ahmad, I'm going to tell you, I know they respect Elliott and Chester on when they come out on the left-hand side, and it is a little bit to the wide side of the field, but Alabama puts 4 people from the center over to their side of the field, and here they're doing it again. They've got a linebacker, Rockwell, sitting up there. The nose tackle is on, and then the 2 wide guys.
McMurtry in motion. They pitch it and then go with the reverse. They faked the reverse, and Morris kept it. They faked it to Colasar. Morris kept it, but Alabama didn't bite, and John Mangum makes the tackle.
Mangum didn't take the fake. His job, Mangum coming up, he said, my job is Morris, and I'm not going anywhere else. Here it comes, and watch number 29, Mangum come into the play. Forget about that reverse. I've got Morris. If he gets by Mangum, he's still running.
Third down, and they actually need closer to 10. Taylor stays in the passing situation and throws it too high for McMurtry. Remember, the quarterbacks for these two teams a year ago were Harbaugh and Shula. We have not seen quality quarterbacking today in terms of the passing game. Well, Dunn has had his moments for Alabama, and each of these quarterbacks have some redeeming qualities, but none of them, we've seen three, Taylor and Brown for Michigan and Dunn for Alabama, none is a top-notch passer.
I agree.
Robbins gets it away. Whitehurst signals for the fair catch and takes it at the 20. 8:34 remaining. Down by 5 and 80 yards away. Bama takes it back. 55-yard kick. Bo Schembechler watching at home, filling in on the sidelines. Gary Moeller and the Wolverines leading, but now by only 5.
I got a feeling that Bobby Humphrey is going to break a long one. He's been so close this entire game, and they could use one like immediately.
Well, like I said at the beginning of the game, it's the quarterback that can throw it. Here's the situation where we're going to find out if Alabama has a quality.
Smile, America.
The ball in this situation.
It'd help if some of the receivers would catch that ball also.
Let's see if this is the one, Ahmad. Nope. Gain of only 2.
You got to get, when you're running that sweep like that, the fullback has to get out in front of you. And if he doesn't get out and make his block, it's almost impossible for that man to move. We saw it on Jamie Morris's runs. We see it once in a while on Humphrey's run. If the fullback doesn't make the block, you're not going anywhere.
Here's Kerry Good. It could be the option. It all breaks down, but he gets away. Actually, a short gain on what could have been a disaster.
That is just a super play on Kerry Good's part, but the defensive secondary stayed with Whitehurst. There's no place to throw it.
Very smart on Good's part, because a lot of backs would have thrown this ball anyway and end up throwing an interception. The coaches always tell you, if the guy's not wide open, put the ball underneath your arm and run, and that's exactly what he does.
3rd and 5 from the 26. .7:05 to play in the game. Done. Complete. They've got the first down. Humphrey made the catch.
What happens in a situation like this, you've got just under 7 minutes in the ball game. And remember, a key thing too is there's only one timeout for Alabama. Here's a situation especially when you're just running the football. If you run too much time off the clock and you're down there, you're really not in field goal position anymore. Ahmad, you've got to go for the touchdown because you can't stop the clock if you get the ball back.
Whitehurst, the motion man. Humphrey with the pitch. 3 yards to the 35.
Mesner's up on Dames this time, and just take a look at Mesner. 60, 76 is Dames, and that's jersey holding there, and I don't care.
He's just holding him a little bit. He's not holding him a lot, just a little piece of the jersey. Big, strong man like that ought to be able to break through that hold.
I'm sorry, I said I gave the wrong guy on offense. That's Fru Morgan, 76. Excuse me.
You got to be right when you're calling the man for holding.
Hey, Dames, I'm sorry. That's right. You're going to make...
Dunn's pass is caught by Cross, sheds a tackler, and bangs out around midfield. J.J. Grant finally put an end to it. They got 15.
Here's the old pinball play.
I wonder if Perkins is watching this, said he couldn't catch.
Well, he's trying to prove it to Perkins that he can catch, and to everybody else who's watching this telecast. But here's the pinball.
Well, if this is pinball, Bishop came up tilt.
Well, Bishop made the mistake of just trying to block the man off his feet instead of wrapping his arms around him to tackle him.
Cross is a big man.
Looked like Cross got a little wobbly as he approached the sideline, too. Dunn is rolling up some numbers. No Humphrey, at least not on this play, and Kerry Good is wrapped up.
Well, I'm gonna just say something about this play calling here. Just at that particular time, if you're going to give the ball to Humphrey or to Good in a situation like that, they gave it to Good that time. Get him outside where he can have some running room where he really has a chance. You run that thing in the middle where they're jamming it up. Here comes Humphrey back in. Good will go back out. But if to put it in the middle like that, all that thing does is run time off the clock.
.435 to play in the game as Dunn retreats, and it's off the hands of Wright.
This Dunn he's got a cannon on him. He can throw that ball. There are certain plays, though, that you got to have a little bit of touch, and that's the one that you got to throw. You think about John Elway when he first came in the league, in the National Football League. He used to have a problem throwing this flat pass. That's the one you got to put it out there. The toughest thing about this play can't be the receiver catching the ball.
Well, if Bo Wright would have caught it, he'd have been out of bounds because the ball would have taken him out of there.
3rd and 12.
You don't want to make all the competition in catching the ball.
Whitehurst and Good are the receivers. Fake to Kerry Good. Cannon shot over the middle. The force of the throw might have been what took Whitehurst down, but he's got the first down.
No, Whitehurst did the thing, Bobby, you're supposed to do, and that's make sure you catch the football. Get the first down. That's paramount.
But his route is very well. He's got man-to-man defense out in the coverage. He breaks over the middle, and then he settles down in the soft spot. Don't keep running. Settle down right there. Ball's right on the money. I'd like to see him throw more of these passes because these seem to be Dunn's forte, to throw that ball over the middle.
Especially when you catch Michigan in the blitz and you can read man-on-man coverage right now. Someone has to be open.
They pick up 17. They're inside the 35. Back to the air with 4 minutes left. Humphrey leaps for the catch. He picks up a block down the sideline and out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. Another first down. Keith Cooper chases him out.
That time, Dunn takes a little bit off of this ball. He remembered the pass to Bo Wright. Now watch, he'll take a little off of this ball here. Just kind of glides it out. Wants to get it to Humphrey. Almost overthrew him.
He's throwing that ball to one of the best athletes in America. This kid can catch as good as any wide receiver, I think, in the country.
Larry Rose had an important block for him. He's a kid from Gadsden, Alabama, grew up as an Auburn fan. When they finally recruited him, got his name on a letter of intent. One of the assistant coaches helped him scrape the Auburn stickers off the back of his car. Humphrey lowers his head and gets something more to the 15-yard line.
Well,
gain of 7.
Actually went out of bounds, Bob, around the 17.5-yard line.
Yeah, let's see where they spot it. The extra effort was for naught that time. Give him 5 instead of 7.
This is not, with the time on the clock, I'm not even looking at field goal.
Yeah, they're in a 4-down situation with only 1 timeout left and trailing by 5. Humphrey to the right side. Change of direction. Humphrey, touchdown! It finally happened, Ahmad.
Just too good of a runner to be held down all day. He's been so close all day.
Down by 18 at 21-3. Alabama comes back to take the lead with 3:45 remaining. And now they'll likely try for 2. As they're up by 1, they got to give themselves a field goal pad.
Yeah, up by 2 doesn't do anything for them.
The big play of the drive, lest we forget, Whitehurst's 17-yard reception on third down. Third down and 12. They put Humphrey out to the left, and now he comes in motion left to right as they try for two. Dunn. They got it, Whitehurst.
Particular play, Dunn really showed me a lot of poise, Ahmad. He just sat there. He was trying to get the ball to Humphrey, coming in motion, going out in the flat, hoping to catch him on a linebacker, but Dunn stays with it.
Watch the hands by Whitehurst. You talk about a great receiver. This guy reaches over the defender and catches the ball in his hands. This is a big plus for a receiver. You can catch with your hands. You got 2 chances to catch it. You miss it in your hands, you get a chance to catch it in your body.
And there's the coach. Everybody's in front of him. He can't see anything. 2 points, Bill. Go.
He's happy. He's very happy.
Okay.
But it's a mellow kind of happy.
He's happy, but he's cool.
Not too happy these days, Gary Moeller or Bo Schembechler watching back at Ann Arbor.
Watch this. Here's Cross on Mesner. Look at this block by the tight end Cross. They said he's an excellent blocker. He handles Mesner all by himself.
Great running by Humphrey. I just knew that you can't hold a guy like that down 60 minutes.
He's been running between the 20-yard lines all day long and not really breaking anything.
Humphrey's up to 149 now on 27 carries. Morris 20 for 222. They go back to Alan Ward for the kickoff. Michigan has 3:45 and 3 timeouts left, down by 3. High and very short. And they're out to the 38-yard line. LaFontaine brought it back from Michigan. Sean LaFontaine, a junior from Dearborn, Michigan. So the Wolverines have pretty good field position on what could be their final drive. North Carolina and UCLA basketball, Dick Enberg and Al McGuire coming up right after the football game.
You know, Bob, I don't care. I just don't like that short kickoff. What that short kickoff does, you have a team now up, down by 3 points. They still have Michigan 3 timeouts, 3:42 on the clock, and why give them that kind of field position?
It's up to Demetrius Brown and Jamie Morris. Derek Thomas got in on that play, a name we've seldom called today. Timeout situation, which we mentioned a moment ago. Clock running, 3:22.
We have truly seen 2 great football players and offensive backs today, Jamie Morris and Humphrey.
What's Curry upset about?
Clipping, holding.
You can't tell when he's happy, but you can sure as heck tell when he's upset.
You got that right. Brown guns one in there. McMurtry makes the catch and almost broke away. They're at the 27 of Alabama just like that. Well, he hasn't always been on target.
No, but
Brown got it done that time.
It's a question of having patience.
Plus, McMurtry's their big play receiver. This guy over the last year has averaged over 20 yards a catch. He's got a lot of patience here, comes right across the middle, makes the play. These are the plays that you break for long yardage, the ones that you catch over the middle.
You know how many times Mangum has saved a touchdown today, Bobby?
He did it that time for sure after a gain of 31.
Jamie Morris earlier in the game.
They said this was one of the best bowl matchups. It's been entertaining for sure. Jamie Morris throttled at about the 25.
You know, it doesn't look like he's going to get anything. And then all of a sudden, bang, he picks up 4.
He's got that tremendous body length.
Look at Thomas now on the outside. The tight end is blocking on him. They're sitting there. That's Jeff Brown blocking. Thomas works his way
Gets rid of 2 blockers and still gets in on the tackle.
Yeah.
Trip Wellborn is in. He's a freshman. I watched him work all week. Wide receiver from Michigan. And they like to run that post route with him deep. He's got excellent hands and a lot of poise for a freshman.
That would be Sullivan Anthony Wellborn III. Wears number 3 appropriately, known as Trip. Inside 2 minutes. Delay handoff, Morris. Greg Gilbert with the tackle.
This game has not disappointed anyone. Anyone that watched this football game and thought, hey, we're going to see Bobby Humphrey and hey, we're going to see Jamie Morris, they're seeing him.
Gillette is the field goal kicker if they go in that direction. Now they're letting the clock run. They've got all 3 timeouts. It's 3rd and 2. It's Taylor in to run the option, but he's stopped. Tommy Cole made the play. And now Moeller wants them to take a timeout, which they do with 56 seconds. Well, what do you think? Do you go for a tie in a bowl game?
Yes.
Auburn did yesterday against Syracuse.
Yes. Now take a look at the left of the screen. And here comes Cole down the line of scrimmage from the backside. All he has is the quarterback. Cole is right there on the play, along with Davis.
Too much penetration for them to try to run that option down the line.
Well, Bo is watching back at home with wife Millie and the kids, thinking about what he would do, but it's up to Gary Moeller to decide now.
Think about this. They still have 2 timeouts, Michigan. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right. They kicked the field goal here to tie the game. There'll be 52, 53 seconds on the clock. They kick off to Alabama. They can still hold Alabama deep in their territory, use those timeouts to get the ball back to get another field goal.
Only if Alabama cooperates and calls their remaining timeout, too.
You thought we were buying that, didn't you?
I thought you guys would like
got all
that for a
excited
while.
and tried to tell us how that was going. We're not buying that for a minute.
Boy, it
Way to
sounded
go, Bob.
so
Keep
good.
him honest over here.
It really did sound good when I thought about it. I kicked the field goal.
Now remember, when Auburn went for the field goal yesterday, there were only 4 seconds left in the game. They were about 12, 13 yards away. They had to go right into the end zone on one play if they elected to go for the touch. Here, they only need 3 yards on 4th down.
And a field goal is not a cinch. I mean, it's not like a little chip shot.
Well, you guys are right. They're going to go for it. Unless they use a long count. But they can't because they're down to 10 seconds on a 25-second clock.
Brown's the quarterback, and in the category of understatement, this is the ball game. 4th and 3. Lots of time. To the end zone for Colasar.
Touchdown.
Touchdown!
Describe the throw and the catch, but I feel so sorry for Mangum. Here's a kid that has played so well all day long, and on the final play of Michigan in this ball game, he's the guy that gets beat for the touchdown.
Some will say that Moeller put his heart before his head, but in any case, it worked.
I like the call.
What a great play! You got to play to win, and I really like that.
In a game that's been razor close, it's Gillette for the point after.
This ball was put on the money, my friend.
It was a great route, also. Right on the money. Can you even under pressure? This kid puts the ball right. He's actually covered here, but he goes up and makes a great grab into the end zone. This is what you dream about. You dream about this your entire life, to make a play like this in a big game like that. This is why you play.
And you know, Ahmad, the other thing. All right, here's Moeller. Go ahead, Bobby.
The picture says it all. He peeks into the corner, and Colasar, yeah, he's got it. We're a winner, boys. At least it looks that way. Colasar has missed parts of this season with a chipped elbow with mononucleosis, and he comes back to make what is likely the game-winning catch.
Again, I really feel so sorry for Mangum because he was on him. Maude, you couldn't play defense any better than he played it, except he got beat for the touchdown. But he was there. Colasar made a super catch, and the ball was, I mean, everything was perfect from Michigan's standpoint.
Colasar made the play. In games like this, you got to make a big play to win, and that was the biggest play of probably Colasar's career right there.
A couple of guys who are capable of breaking it go back for Alabama. Pierre Good, number 2, and Bobby Humphrey, number 26.
Well,
but
not
remember, Alabama has only one timeout left.
These two guys will not touch the ball unless someone laterals it to them. Because, first of all, there's only 50 seconds on the clock. Number 2, one timeout. And number 3, they're 4 points down. Field goal does nothing for them.
So Michigan doesn't mind if they give it to him around the 40-yard line.
Not at all. Not now. I wouldn't put that thing up.
Yeah, give it around the 40 or watch one of those guys run it all the way back.
But they let it roll to Humphrey. Out to the 27.
One timeout. It's just a shame to waste timeouts in the beginning of the third quarter of a football game, especially when this game is being played so close. Both defenses are playing so well, and then it comes down to it, and you can't use them anymore.
Bo Schembechler promised the doctors he wouldn't travel here for this game. What do you think would have been more taxing, to be here or have to watch the seesaw go up and down from 1,000 miles away?
Well,
Michigan takes its time.
Well, they got 12 guys on the field, that's why.
Maybe I can check my geography. I think Ann Arbor is more than 1,000 miles from Tampa. We'll be two of the great traditions in college football, Alabama and Michigan. And we're 43 seconds away from making that come true. One for Bo. First time these two great programs have ever met on the football field. Done for Alabama. And he overthrows Whitehurst, who was open, as you saw. And how many times have we said, mixed in with the successes both quarterbacks have had, most notably Brown for the apparent game winner to Colasar for Michigan. Now, each has had their moments, but how often have we said that phrase? The pass is overthrown.
It's very tough to put that much pressure on a quarterback in a game like this when he hasn't thrown all year. And I think this is something that they're finding out now. You've got to throw the ball in practice in order to throw it in a game like this.
And a lot.
Fake to Humphrey. He slips out of the backfield. This pass is caught. Cross tries to get to the sideline, but they cut him down. J.J. Grant made a big play.
Cross is hurt.
Or is he faking an injury?
No,
and I'm not trying to minimize it.
I don't think he's faking that one, Bob. He took a pretty good shot.
You got that right. And I didn't mean to trivialize his pain. But that is a tactic that's been used. Caught by Whitehurst. Is he out of bounds? Yes. Yes, he's out.
Well, he's actually, Bobby, he's not out of bounds.
First down?
It's the first down.
Yeah, they're going to stop it for the first down.
And you only have one timeout. Are they going to take it? Now they take it.
Whitehurst is an excellent ball control receiver. He always knows where he is on the field. This is a very good pattern here.
There's a little bit of Bobby Chandler, doesn't he?
Yeah, run it deep enough to get away from the linebacker. A little inside move. Turn it outside. He's right there wide open. Great hands on this kid. First down.
Yeah, he was down before he got to the sideline, but the first down in college ball stops the clock only as long as is required to reset the chains, so Alabama was forced to tack on a timeout of their own. Assuming that neither's going to carry again. Humphrey, 27 for 149. Couple of touchdowns. Morris, 23 for 234. 3 touchdowns. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weisman. Coordinating producer of NBC's football coverage, Ted Nathanson. Today's game from Tampa, produced by David Neal. Thank you, pal, for a job well done. Directed by Richard Klein. Replay producer J.D. Hansen. Technical director Marilyn Altman. It isn't exactly like riding a bicycle. You can't get right back on. It's been 4 years since I've called a game. A little bit rusty. Wasn't all that smooth, but it sure was fun.
It was fun, and I think that's the bottom line. We've had a great time down here, haven't we?
You know what? One of the things in college football, Bobby, as opposed to the pros, you can't predict anything. You really can't. They do so many different things. They change so many people around. And you're seeing different players. I mean, you know, in the pros, you only have 45. Alabama brought 116.
It's the enthusiasm, guys. You don't see this in the NFL. This is fun.
Well, we'll see some enthusiasm tomorrow. It's do or die, Seattle and Houston.
Sure you don't want to go to Houston with us?
I'll go back up to New York. Get back into those familiar surroundings.
This could be the final one here. 11 seconds.
From the 48 of Alabama. 7 seconds as he unloads. Intercepted. Michigan's going to win it. David Arnold picked it off. Time expires. Big smile for Moeller. And I'm sure a smile just as big back at home in Ann Arbor for Bo Schembechler. From a distance, congratulations, Bo, and congratulations to the Wolverines. In a truly exciting Hall of Fame Bowl, they beat Bill Curry's Crimson Tide of Alabama 28-24. The Budweiser outstanding players of today's Hall of Fame Bowl are, no question, Jamie Morris. And you just want to go with Humphrey? What do you think, Ahmad?
You got to go with Humphrey. He did everything that he could do to try to win this football game.
So Morris from Michigan, Humphrey from Alabama. Budweiser will donate a total of $2,000 to the General Scholarship Funds of Michigan and Alabama in their honor. Winning touchdown, 4th down 3.
Well, Colazar, and this was just a perfect pass into just in a perfect situation. Coverage is absolutely superb.
Demetrius Brown to Colazar for the game winner. Moeller's reaction for Paul McGuire and Ahmad Rashad. I'm Bob Costas. Thanks very much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the Hall of Fame Bowl. And now stay tuned for basketball. Dick Enberg and Al McGuire, North Carolina and UCLA coming up next. So long till